Jhanjedi. I'm Manjit Singh of two-day third international virtual conference on the theme The Ecology of New Economy Post-COVID-19 in collaboration with IKG PTU Jalandhar, Lincoln University College Malaysia, International Business School Brazil, King's University College Canada, and University of South Australia. The conference aims to highlight the various emerging issues of ecological disbalance on the economies and the plausible solutions showing the sustainable transformation of global environment post COVID-19. This conference will bring together and societies in particular can do to rise to the challenge. Without taking any more time, I would now like to request all the respected dignitaries to come forward for the lamp lighting ceremony.
My name is Juan Ospina, and I'm the Manager International Business Development for the Business School here at the University of South Australia. I'm very thankful to have been invited to participate in this conference. Of course, it would have been much better to do it face-to-face as we usually conduct.
Cannot hear.
My name is Juan Ospina, and I'm the Manager International Business Development for the Business School here at the University of South Australia.
Not audible.
Thank you. Now, I would like to request Director Management.
Good morning, one and all present here and virtually with us. It gives me an immense pleasure to welcome you all on the wonderful occasion of Third International Conference at CGC Jhanjedi. I welcome all my esteemed guests, those who have joined us online and offline in campus. I would like to welcome first our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, who has conveyed his message and gave me call in the morning that at his place, Dean Academic Sir will be joining and will be conveying due to his some pre-occupational emergency. He has to go somewhere, so he could not join us. I welcome you, sir. And I welcome Dr. Batra, who has joined us. In spite of the fact he was so busy, he conveyed me 2 times if it can be postponed or can be done virtually. I welcome you, sir, here on complete CGC family, on behalf of complete CGC family. I welcome Dr. Manjit, sir. He has been always a, person who has shown me a career path so fondly. I was telling even our president, sir, also, that when I was doing my PhD, I was so disheartened so many times, and he has always kept me motivated. And sir, your motivation has always landed me at so many places. I welcome Ritu Lahil, ma'am. in spite of her family preoccupations. She was busy in her some family weddings. She spared some time because she always wanted to be a part of academics all the time. I welcome you, ma'am. And I welcome Ravinder Sir. He's a director, RC, Punjab University, Ludhiana. He has been always a person who has shown a highest path to me, that no, we can achieve this much also. And once somebody shows us that path, we landed somewhere. So many times we are in a dilemma, and I discuss with sir, and he really clears my dilemma. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. And I'm very sure with all of you, we are going to have such a wonderful session today. And I want to welcome all our academic partners. Our academic partners, Lincoln University, Malaysia. Podar sir has always extended such a wonderful hand, and along with his complete team, always available, not looking at the clockwise time. And sir, there are faculties chairing our sessions also and judging our sessions also. Our Canada, West University, Canada, they have been with us for research, student exchange, and as well as in international conference partnership also. University of South Australia, they are with us for faculty exchange and research exchange. Thank you so much, our international partners, those who have made this event so great that we all are going to learn a lot. Now, I would like to say that the current situation, how we decided on this particular topic. This global pandemic has actually made everyone look at their alternative paths. Look at the path of a progress, how that can be achieved. At this point of time, thinking about progress is something that we are thinking of, which is actually not going to happen immediately. But yes, if we shoot for the stars, moon, we'll land up in the stars. We need to have a positive vision. Since last so many days, going through all the research papers that we have received, the kind of suggestions they have given, the kind of discussions I had with different academicians at different platforms, I'm sure academics is such a place where we can make a lot of difference. We can make a difference in bringing track back to the economy. We can bring back life also. I always tell my faculty also that you all are COVID warriors. Keeping young force engaged at all the time. They are not coming in online classes, connecting them. They are not doing their research project, telling them to do it again and again, helping them in one fold or the another fold. This is something they have kept the young blood intact, keeping their mind focused, keeping their activities in place. I know 100% cannot be achieved, but yes, I would like to tell our international partners that you all have been already into the blended mode. You have not gone through that much of problems as India is facing. The reason, we have never even started blended mode anywhere. So we started just because of pandemic. And I'm really very proud of my team that they have never let anything suffer, even if academics, activities, or any kind of international activity also. And this is a kind of zeal is required. And I'm looking forward from this particular conference also that whatever different streams we have decided into, we will be able to reach at some conclusions where if we implement, the pace can be taken. I cannot be sure because since yesterday when I'm reading the data, it was very difficult to think about it that we'll be at any place very soon. But yes, a path can be made. To return to the business as usual condition, ecological burden will no doubt continue to rise as a global structure of production and consumption in return. Governments and international agencies are already taking extreme measures. We all are looking at this from time and again so that economies do not collapse and return to the normal life as early as possible. But this is a quote, as early as possible, because we know this is not going to happen as soon. We need to think about recovery of stock market and other financial institutions to pre-COVID level. If we are able to think of that, then we can at least carve a recovery path to those financial institutions to pre-COVID-19 level will take a less period if we all work together. I always say there are certain things that we need to learn from. Even in my classes when I always tell my students that watch Harshad Mehta also, because he's the one who actually gave a hope to stock market. We need to think some exceptional things, not using other means, but we need to think of some exceptional means to bring back our economy on track. To bring that back, we need to have some out-of-box solutions, and I'm sure we are going to have it. I would like to tell all our academicians present here and internationally connected with us that we decided this particular topic of ecological balance post-COVID-19 by keeping this in mind, that if we, as an academician, industrialists, researchers, and students sit together and try to find out certain things towards solution, we'll be able to do it. And I'm sure the research papers I have gone through, I'm going to think about that. The solutions are bound to come. We have, I would like to give a review about our research contributions that is being done. Overall, we have received around 170 plus papers. In this, I'm not counting the papers that we have not accepted for presentation, because we have gone through a complete plagiarism check. If it is less than 30%, we have not allowed them for even presentation. In this particular thing, researchers, academicians, teams, in finance, in HR, in IT, machine learning, sustainable model for economic predictions after pandemic, handling disaster, COVID-19 situation, and articles also we have received so many which were up to the mark and that have been taken for our publications. And we have done Scoopus as well as ABDC tie-ups. Their reviewer team is working with us, and we will be issuing our own UGC Care journal also in a tie-up in which all those papers will be published. As international, we have received from Canada, South Africa, Malaysia, South Australia, and from Punjab only there are 82 papers. Chandigarh contributed 23, Delhi contributed 24, Haryana contributed 15 papers, Maharashtra 12, and other state from where we have received less than 5 papers: Arunachal Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu Kashmir, Karnataka, Kerala, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Telangana, and Uttar Pradesh. And prominent university names I'll be taking because we are running short of time also. Delhi Institute of Advanced Studies. These are the institute they have tied up for their papers. Institute of Innovation in Technology and Management in Delhi. Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women University, Jaipur, Rajasthan. JNU, Delhi. NIT, Hamirpur. Symbiosis Institute of Management Studies, Pune. Thapar Institute of Engineering and Technology, Patiala. Maharishi Dayal Technical University. On this note, I'm looking forward for a wonderful findings and suggestions from all the researchers and different tracks. So we have started with the 5 tracks instead of 8 because there were some papers which are not exactly to be divided into tracks. So 5 tracks will be running. In all the tracks, we'll be having a best paper award also. And in all the tracks, there are 2 chairpersons, one from the industry and one from the academia. Academia, there are all external members. None of them are from my campus. And then I would like to thank all of you for joining once again. And I want our Honorable President, sir, to give a formal warm welcome to all our dignitaries nationally and internationally connected with us, physically as well as online. Thank you.
Respected Chandigarh Group of College ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ ਹੋਏ ਸਾਡੇ ਮਹਿਮਾਨ ਡਾਕਟਰ GS ਬਤਰਾ ਜੀ, ਡਾਕਟਰ ਰੀਤੂ ਲਹਿਲ, ਡਾਕਟਰ ਮਨਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ, ਡਾਕਟਰ ਰਵਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ, ਡਾਕਟਰ ਮਨੀਸ਼ ਜਿੰਦਲ ਜੀ। ਵਰਚੁਅਲ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਅਜੇ ਕੁਮਾਰ ਸ਼ਰਮਾ, ਵਾਈਸ ਚਾਂਸਲਰ PTU ਅਤੇ ਡੀਨ ਅਕੈਡਮੀ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਵਿਕਾਸ ਚਾਵਲਾ ਜੀ। ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਤਿਕਾਰਯੋਗ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ ਹਨ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੈਲਕਮ ਕਰਦਾ ਹਾਂ। ਚੰਡੀਗੜ੍ਹ ਗਰੁੱਪ ਆਫ ਕਾਲਜ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੀਸਰੀ ਇੰਟਰਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਕਾਨਫਰੰਸ 23 ਤੇ 24 ਅਪ੍ਰੈਲ ਨੂੰ ਆਰਗੇਨਾਈਜ਼ ਕਰਵਾਈ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਇਸ ਕਾਨਫਰੰਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਣਾ ਰੀਜਨ ਨਹੀਂ, ਆਲ ਓਵਰ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ USA, ਮਲੇਸ਼ੀਆ, ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਅਤੇ ਸਾਊਥ ਆਸਟ੍ਰੇਲੀਆ ਤੋਂ ਵੀ ਅਕੈਡਮਿਕ ਆਪਣਾ ਯੋਗਦਾਨ ਪਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਨ। ਇਸ ਕਾਨਫਰੰਸ 'ਚ ਜੋ ਪੋਸਟ ਕੋਵਿਡ ਏਰੀਆ ਟਾਈਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹਰ ਪੱਖੋਂ ਤਰੱਕੀ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਇਸਤੇਮਾਲ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਵੇ। ਇਸ 'ਤੇ ਚਰਚਾ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਅਲੱਗ-ਅਲੱਗ ਦੇਸ਼ਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਅਕੈਡਮੀਸ਼ੀਅਨ, ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ ਅਤੇ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟ ਜੁੜ ਰਹੇ ਹਨ। ਜਦੋਂ ਕਿ ਅਕੈਡਮਿਕ, ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ ਅਤੇ ਯੂਥ ਇਕਜੁੱਟ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਸੋਚਦਾ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਸਰਬਪੱਖੀ ਵਿਕਾਸ ਨਿਸ਼ਚਿਤ ਹੈ। ਮੈਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਪੀਲ ਕਰਦਾ ਹਾਂ 23 ਤੇ 24 ਅਪ੍ਰੈਲ ਨੂੰ ਅਕੈਡਮਿਕ ਅਤੇ ਅਲੱਗ-ਅਲੱਗ ਪਹਿਲੂ ਉੱਤੇ ਡਿਸਕਸ ਕਰਨ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਜੋ ਲਏ ਜਾਣਗੇ ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਉਪਯੋਗੀ ਅਤੇ ਸ਼ਲਾਘਾਯੋਗ ਹੋਣਗੇ। ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਵੈਰੀ ਮਚ।
Thank you so much, sir. Proceeding further, on the behalf of Vice Chancellor, IKG PTU, Dr. Ajay Kumar Sharma, Dean Academics, IKG Punjab Technical University, Jalandhar, Dr. Vikas Chawla has joined us today. He's been the head of mechanical in the university. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. So first of all, Chairman, Chandigarh Group of Colleges, my esteemed colleagues, first of all, namaskar to all of you. So I, on behalf of Honorable Vice Chancellor
Sir,
of...
आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है. Can you please unmute your mic?
Ma'am, it's already unmuted.
Yes, sir. It is audible now. Thank you.
Yeah. First of all, Chairman, Chandigarh Group of Colleges and my esteemed colleagues, first of all, namaskar to all of you. So I, on behalf of Honorable Vice Chancellor of IKG PTU, Professor Dr. Ajay Kumar Sharma ji, would like to congratulate the management, faculty members, director, staff and their students of Chandigarh Group of Colleges, Jandheri, for organizing 3rd International Virtual Conference on the theme, The Ecology of New Economy Post-COVID-19. So today, in the era of pandemic, there is gloom everywhere. Every morning, we open the newspaper that there has been a record number of latest coronavirus cases within the country. So a day surpasses the previous day within the numbers tally. Economists are predicting the worst recession of the country hitting the world, where many jobs are going to be lost and many people are going to be driven into the poverty. So is everything lost? Is there no hope for the economy moving forward? To research this issue, I realized that within the midst of all this gloom, there are many silver linings, many reasons to feel optimistic and cheer about, especially if you are an Indian. So what are the positivities which may emerge because of COVID-19 pandemic begins to taper down and eventually leave us alone? There are many such areas or many such sectors which begin to point out tons of promises after the lockdown is over. So like agriculture, Indian GDP continue to depend upon agriculture. Nearly 20% of India's GDP comes from the agriculture sector. And we shall see some growth in agriculture sector in this after this pandemic is over or lockdown is over. And in the health sector also, health sector is clearly going to find tons of traction within the weeks and months ahead. For all the negative publicity of poor healthcare services in India, within the Western media, the world has done reasonably well in handling the COVID pandemic crisis effectively. Whereas its testing is concerned and some to take care of COVID-19 patient. So India has done quite well till now. And pharmaceutical sectors, India's pharma industry has already made its mark on the worldwide scene because of the demand of the various corona vaccine, like to fight with the COVID virus. So India is already has taken a major boost in the development of these vaccines, and in the digital platform-based economic activities also, social distancing and work from houses is getting to be the new normal. Going into crowded markets is increasingly getting to be difficult. All this is often getting to move most of the economic activities across the planet towards digital platforms. So e-commerce based activities shall gain much traction, and many more activities that are wiped out the physical world shall find newer platform for the delivery. For example, entertainment is concerned, movie halls shall be a thing of the past, and most of the entertainment shall be will be delivered at the doorstep over the OTT platforms. Similarly, e-commerce sector, given the social distancing measures and lockdown of most of the crowded market business activities, goes to shift online. Thus, e-commerce business shall pick up. Companies like Amazon, Flipkart, they are already doing well in this COVID-19 pandemic era. And then mines and minerals, mining activities within the country that has remained unaffected by the worldwide pandemic, apart from the disruption during the lockdown period when the mining production stopped. And then in the education sector also, the education sector within the country that is expected to still grow. One positive impact of the loss of jobs are going to
Hello
be
everyone,
that
I'm
an
Professor
outsized number of job
Alpunhada. I'm
seekers
very glad
shall
to
now
be here
plan to
at the Chandigarh Group
utilize
of College event congress, touching base about digital marketing in the area of COVID-19.
shall plan to utilize the present slump in enhancing their skills and marketable educational levels. So all types of postgraduate studies, we think, within the country shall see higher rates of admission this year. So we see that there are several sectors that shall spring back to their original levels of output quickly after the lockdown. There are many other important factors that shall help rebuild Indian economy faster than most of the opposite major economics of the planet. So a number of reasons that includes the strong political leadership at the center. So Indian political leadership has steered the handling the corona pandemic most effectively. So they need being praised for his or her draft handling by most of the worldwide development organization and therefore the world leaders. And fight of capital and business from China. So China has suffered the most important setback in its brand image of being a worldwide hub of producing. So government and corporations across the world are taking their money and manufacturing far away from China. Can India capture a number of fleeing capital and business from China? Till now, countries like Vietnam, Singapore, Cambodia seems to be taking the foremost advantages of fleeing capital. If the government creates the proper business environment, makes it easy to try to do business in India, removes and rationalize the policies in reference to land, labor and taxation, then it can capture and outsize a part of the fleeing capital from China. So conclusively, the goal here is not for the Indian economy to be spread the effect of the corona pandemic. It will undoubtedly take a hammering. Furthermore, if there is one economy in the world that will rapidly recover from the effects of the pandemic, it will undoubtedly be India's. So with these words, I would like to congratulate again the management, director, faculty, and students of Chandigarh Group of Colleges, Janjeri, which is one of the best colleges out of 218 colleges affiliated with IKG-PTU. So wish you all the best luck. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. You're not audible, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. It is my immense pleasure to introduce our next keynote speaker, Dr. Manjit Singh, who is presently working as Professor and Head, University School of Applied Management, Punjabi University Patiala, and has 23 years of teaching experience in the field of management and commerce education at the university level. He has 75 research publications to his credit in the national and international journals. He was actively involved in teaching, research, and training at the international level. He has been associated with Curtin University of Technology, Australia, as course facilitator for the accounting and finance courses. Over to you, sir, please.
Well, very warm good morning to all present on the dais and those who have joined us virtually. Well, at the outset, I'm grateful to the organizers of this international conference to give me an opportunity to be part of this learning platform. Well, when we look at the topic of this international conference and the theme, I was getting a little nervous. Nervous in the sense because the kind of turbulent times which we are facing now and the kind of challenges we are facing and the world economy, which has again become very uncertain with the turbulence again because of this COVID-19, it becomes very difficult for the people like us to give their viewpoint that how the economy is going to bounce back and what we have ahead for our near future and our long-term future, because it seems that things are becoming very uncertain. Well, but still, we know that certain basics always remain the same, and we are expecting that this challenging time will be over in a year's time or maybe in the couple of years' time, and economies will be back to the pre-COVID levels. So keeping that thing in mind, and keeping in mind the theme of this international conference, that is ecology of the economy in the post-COVID period, we know that ecology is a biological word, and it's a scientific term. And if we go by its literal meaning, it basically tells us about the set of interrelationships between the various organisms and its surroundings. So keeping that thing in mind, I'll be sharing some of my experiences, some of my understanding, some of my thoughts with regard to the set of interrelated institutions and the various variables related to the economy which will affect our economy in the post-COVID era. Well, before we talk about this, if we have a brief, idea that how we have been doing in the last 4-5 years. We all know that our economy, as far as the economic fundamentals were concerned, we were not doing that great if we talk about last 5 years GDP growth. We know that our growth rate has been falling, and our economic fundamentals were not doing so good. And with that, the kind of challenges which we have faced during last 4-5 years. First was demonetization, second was this GST, and the third was this global pandemic, COVID-19. Now, the first two, the shocks which we received, or the hard decisions of the government which we received, in terms of demonetization and in terms of GST, though all of these two, the decisions taken by the government, they were aimed at converting our economy from informal sector to a formal sector. More emphasis was made to convert the economy from informal economy to a formal economy. But our informal sector was not ready for this shock, and we were still struggling to come up with the new norms of doing business, and then we faced another shock, which was in terms of this global pandemic of COVID-19. So as far as our fundamentals were concerned, as far as the robustness of our economy is concerned, we were not doing so well. And when we faced this crisis, it further worsened our economy. So keeping in mind that, when we compare ourselves, the response which the government has taken vis-a-vis the response which has been taken by the government across the world, our response has not been that promising as we have seen in case of US, in case of Europe, in case of Canada, because their economic position was much, much better as compared to our economic position. So on account of that, the kind of fiscal issues which we were facing, the kind of strength we were facing in terms of our resources, we were already strained. And when this pandemic came, that further complicated our resources, because we know that tax collections with the government, that was highest because of this pandemic. The informal sector, which was already struggling because of demonetization, because of this GST, this was another big shock for the informal sector, and that's why a lot of job losses have taken place. So keeping this thing in mind, the government has taken certain steps which, further we can see that will be affecting the recovery performance of India. The first is that because of the fiscal issues, we know that the government has come up with the tough measures. Those tough measures are in the form of, the rise in the taxes on our fuel, products. And we all know that when the fuel prices increase, that has a regressive impact upon the economy. And inflation is bound to increase because of that. And this will further affect our recovery performance in the years to come. Secondly, when we talk about, set of other variables, the other institutions which are interrelated and which are likely to affect our growth performance in the years to come. When we talk about the challenges which our economy will face in the years to come, now one of that challenge is the demographic challenge. Because India being a young nation, we know that people were expecting that young population of India will become a demographic dividend for India. But over a period of time, we have seen that because of the employability deficit, what is happening now is that this demographic dividend which we were expecting earlier is likely to become demographic disaster. As we can see that various international bodies like World Economic Forum, the Knowledge Commission, and the other international bodies, they have already raised this issue of learning crisis which exists in India. And having this pandemic, when most of our students are staying at home, we are expecting that this crisis will further complicate. So keeping in mind that, when we say that the kind of expectations we can have in the years to come from our economy, can we reach the $5 trillion target? If we look at certain factors which are influencing this $5 trillion dollar economy target, then we can see that we still have a long way to go. We still have the difficult challenges ahead. You see, when we talk about the huge population which we are having, the huge young population which we are having, and the kind of unemployment which has increased over a period of time, and the kind of unemployable quotient which is increasing over a period of time. So that is going to be a big challenge for our future development. So keeping in mind that when it comes to the government of India, they have already realized the importance of job creation to create more sustainability in our economic development. The government has launched various programs in the form of Make in India, in the form of Startup India. But when it comes to the results, results are not that promising. And the reason for that primarily is our international, landscape as far as the manufacturing is concerned. Because we all know that during last few decades, China emerged as a manufacturing hub for whole of the world. And the way they have managed their exchange rate, the way they have managed their supply chains, they are not allowing, or they are, they are making manufacturing elsewhere in the world incompetitive. So that's why most of the Indian companies, when we say the Indian small businesses, rather than becoming manufacturers, they were becoming traders, that importing products from China and selling it in India. So that is something which was affecting our, jobs and our competitiveness in terms of job creation as well. Because we know that agriculture sector, which, more than 44% of Indian population, which is occupied in agriculture, but their contribution towards GDP is low. Though we are expecting more growth in agriculture in the years to come, but still it is not at the optimum level, because a lot of disguised unemployment is already there in the agriculture sector. And when it comes to services, we know that we are doing quite well as far as our services are concerned, but saturation has come in the services sector in terms of job creation. So the only sector which was left with us is the manufacturing sector, because that can create more jobs. But the challenges which we are facing with regard to improvement in the contribution of manufacturing sector is the enabling environment and the competitive challenges which we are facing from China and other small countries like Vietnam, Malaysia, Singapore, and all these Southeast Asian countries. So it's the need of the hour that our manufacturing sector should improve, and the government is emphasizing on that, but still it seems that we have a long way to go to achieve the target. Then to improve the economy, another major sector is our financial sector. And when we talk about financial sector, which is backbone for the development process of any country, we can see it from two angles. One is in terms of our banking sector, and second is in terms of our financial markets. Now, as far as the banking sector is concerned, we all know that thanks to the Infosys, thanks to Wipro, thanks to Accenture, the kind of role which these IT companies have played to transform the financial sector in India, so Indian banking sector has been doing pretty well as far as increasing the outreach is concerned, as far as increasing the number of products are concerned. But when it comes to the shocks of demonetization, when it comes to the shock of GST and this pandemic, we know that the informal sector in India, that is in real trouble. And small and medium enterprises, they are facing tough challenges. And it will have a likely impact upon the stress, which is imposed upon our banking sector. Though our figures may not be that correct as far as reporting of the balance sheets are concerned, but one thing is for sure, that all these shocks are going to adversely affect our banking sector. So the government is doing its best to sustain and to help this financial sector, this banking sector, because this is the backbone for the development process of any country. But still, that is another challenge which I wanted to flag. Another was with regard to the financial markets. We all have observed that our Sensex is doing, very well as far as the numbers are concerned. And we have crossed beyond the pre-COVID levels. And we have witnessed a V-shaped recovery as far as the Sensex and Nifty numbers are concerned. But the issue is, when our economy is down, when our fundamentals are not doing well, how come this Sensex is rising? So when we go a little deeper into this, then we realize that most of the financial sector performance is linked with the foreign institutional investors. And this foreign capital which is coming to India, in a short span of time, it goes from India in a short span of time. So that is something which is not sustainable. And all these figures which are coming to us in the form of increase in the Sensex or rise in the Nifty, that may not be that healthy sign of the development story of India, because the responsibility for this increase in Sensex and Nifty lies with the foreign institutional investors, and more than 50% of the capitalization of our Sensex is with the foreign institutional investors. So that way, when we say our economic performance in terms of our financial markets, that is not considered as a healthy sign. The reason for that is that domestic investors, the retail investors, are not investing in the financial markets. So because of that, that is another challenge which we are facing, because the kind of numbers which we are witnessing right now, that may be showing a rosy picture, but as far as the growth story is concerned, there are some other different challenges associated with this. So another important aspect which I wanted to flag at this stage is about the knowledge capital. You see, when we talk about the challenges for our development in the years to come, or to become a $5 trillion economy, one of the important factors for that will be the way we are doing our research, the role of the knowledge creation in the economic development of the country. So when we compare ourselves with the other emerging economies, we still have a long way to go as far as that part is concerned. So we, the budding researchers, when we compare ourselves with China, when we compare ourselves with Australia, New Zealand, or maybe, European countries and America, the number of patents, the number of good publications which we have in the international journals, it's not that good as far as as compared to the other countries are concerned, developing, emerging countries are concerned. So we as researchers, we need to, contribute our best so that in the years to come, the knowledge capital also gains momentum, and that will come with the good quality research papers, the good quality research which we might be, conducting in the years to come. So that also has a very, very important role in the growth story of India. So these are some of the issues which I wanted to flag, that though we are expecting the recovery, like we had witnessed a V-shaped recovery in the recent past, during last 4-5 months, but we are again into turbulent times of this COVID-19 pandemic. But we are expecting that maybe after a year or so, we can back to the normal. But for that, certain basics will always remain the same. And those basics are in terms of the demographic dividend, so the kind of employability, the kind of human capital in which we invest, the kind of knowledge capital in which we invest, and the kind of institutional capital in which we invest. Institution in terms of governance, institutions in terms of our politics, because as far as the governing challenges are concerned, that is also a major challenge. So all these factors, which are, basics for the growth of any country, they need to be worked upon, and only then, in the post-pandemic era also, we will be in a position to, rise to meet the challenge. So these were some of the thoughts, some of my understanding about this theme of ecology in the Indian economy in the post-COVID-19 period, that these are certain factors, these are certain challenges which we need to, work upon. So once again, I'm grateful to the organizers for giving me an opportunity to share whatever little knowledge I have related to this theme. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your insightful knowledge regarding various issues. Due to personal obligation of President, sir, we have a little change in the sequence of the event. I request President, sir, Sardar Ashpal Singh Dhaliwal, and Director Management, Dr. Jaskiran Kaur, to honor our keynote speakers with memento. Dr. G.S. Batra, Professor, Punjabi University, Patiala. Please give a huge round of applause. Dr. Ritu Lahil, Professor, Punjabi University, Patiala. Dr. Manjit Singh, Professor, Punjabi University, Patiala. Dr. Ravinder Singh, Director, RC, Punjab University, Ludhiana. Dr. Munish Jindal, Founder and CEO, Hover Robotics, Founding President, Memento RX. Thank you, sir. And group photo.
Due to some changes in the program, sir has to leave somewhere. So we have to change the MOM as per his priorities. And I'm just conveying sir's message to our all international partners that due to this COVID, we could not meet physically. But the moment it is going to open, we all are going to meet here also physically. And on behalf of complete team of CGC Janjeri Faculty of Management, I would like to extend a warm thank you to our own worthy Honorable President, Sir Rashpal Singh Ji Tariwal, for always being unconditional support to us. Whatever we always wanted, he has given us a blanket sanction in terms of time, in terms of money, in terms of experimenting. So due to you, we are able to exercise so many things which I think so many other institutions are not able to do. A big thank you from complete my team to sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Proceeding further, we are honored to have with us Dr. Haj Bibi Florina Abdullah, Pro-Chancellor, Lincoln University College, Malaysia. She was the first director of nursing of the Ministry of Health. Thereafter, she was given the degree scheme by Public Service Department. She is also the registrar of Nursing Board and has the greatest passion in changing the whole face of the nursing profession. She was instrumental in professionalizing nursing from the diploma to the degree level. Over to you, ma'am.
Good morning to all. Dr. Vivi have to leave for urgent meeting just now. So I will now request Professor Dr. Abhijit Ghosh, Dean Faculty of Business. Madam, if you want to introduce, you can, or I just invite Professor Dr. Abhijit Ghosh.
It would be my immense pleasure, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
We have with us Dr. Abhijit Ghosh, Dean Faculty of Business and Accountancy, Lincoln University College, Malaysia, who is a member of Australian Institute of Management and World Cultural Tourism Association. He's a recipient of National Merit Scholarship in 1978 from Government of India. Over to you, sir.
All, a very good day to you. Namaskar. From sunny Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And also, I am welcoming you to my Faculty of Business and Accountancy, Lincoln University College. We are very proud to announce that we have just been ranked as 35th in the Times Higher Education ranking from rank 80, and we received the news only yesterday. So the whole faculty is basically jumping because of all of our latest achievements. The area where we are actually looking at, which is part of our theme of this conference, is actually something that is basically keeping us alive during this whole pandemic situation. Giving you a little bit of my personal observations regarding the first few weeks of the pandemic, I could see hundreds of vans coming inside the apartment house where I reside, and they were delivering all kinds of goods, including food products. And I was quite amazed because we, as observers or key researchers, we always look at the issues or things that happens all around ourselves. And I came to know that the online or digital way of consuming goods, products, including food products, started going up and up and up. And then I realized that actually people started using the online platform to do not just online purchases, but actually young kids started using this online platform for the educational purposes. And now we know what's going on. We as academics, we could feel the importance and need for online platform or the blended mode of study. And that's why Lincoln is at the forefront with 13 of its programs that are fully under this blended mode or open and distance learning mode. And we're the first to jump into this bandwagon when the pandemic started with our booty of mixed mode of study, and we embraced the modern technology in our teaching. So we didn't have any issues at all. Now, when I'm looking at this digital, or mode of consuming goods, when I'm looking at the digital platforms, when I'm looking at the way digital marketing is happening, a couple of things that's still bothering me. I mean, when I have a need to go and do some purchase, can I still replace the same kind of behavior when I'm buying things from online? And that worries me. I'll give you some examples. Like I want to buy maybe a Calvin Klein perfume. Can I smell it before I buy it from online platform? What happens when I want to buy maybe a pair of trousers? Can I touch and feel before I actually go for the final purchase? Then again, I'm hearing from my colleagues that actually things are happening. And things are happening in such a manner so that in near future, people will be buying from online stores and they will be buying things where they can touch, feel, or sense, and that's huge. Number two, when we are buying things from online stores, what happens if the ultimate decision to buy something from online store is not exactly the same compared to a physical store? How can we basically replace the physical stores into the online platform so that the satisfaction from the consumer's mind is a huge one? And other important areas that worries me, and actually it worries a lot of people, including myself, is when I go to the shopping malls, I find lots and lots of so-called big stores. Either they're closing down or they're closed for the time being. Why? Because there's hardly any taker. Compared to that, the online platform sales are going up and up and up. And that triggers a few valid points. Is it going to be the future? Is this where we will be interacting in the future? The presence of physical stores, is that thing of the past or going to be thing of the past? What used to be normal is not normal anymore. What used to be not normal is the new normal now. And trust me, this COVID has taught many lessons to many of us, including myself. COVID is, I know it's a curse, but it has opened a few horizons or windows of opportunities wherefrom we should be, finding new ways of doing things. Number two is when we look at the education sector, when we look at the business sector, when we look at the economy as a whole, we realize there are many companies who are actually enjoying or benefiting from this pandemic that's happening now. Is the pandemic going to be over tomorrow? Is the pandemic going to be over in a week's time or in a month's time or a year's time? We don't know. But what we know, that it has changed the way we live, and it has changed the way we embrace technology into our lives. And it has also given us some information regarding how to lead our life for the next years to come. Trust me, this COVID-19 is going to stay, and it's going to stay for a long period of time. So what that tells us, we have to change ourselves. And when I look at some of the things that's coming up now, I'm wearing a jacket. I'm wearing a jacket here. But some of the jackets that are arriving through the online stores now, they are half jackets. When I look at some of the business shirts, I find that half of it is actually nested inside a jacket, and the jacket just stops here. Remaining part is not a jacket anymore. And then the shirt is just loosely tied to the jacket, but actually it's a shirt, come jacket. Trousers, the sizes are going not down, but they are coming up. So it's almost like you are wearing a half trouser, and also the nature and the content and the feel and the touch, it's all changing. It's almost like you are wearing a night suit or a pajama. You are working from home, and the reliance of working from home is here to stay. So how we adapt to these changes, how we adapt to the changes in the way we lead our life, that is basically going to be dictated by the modern technology or technologies. So what we are doing, basically, we at the Faculty of Business level, we are looking and relooking at most of the programs that we are running. The programs have got no other option but to embrace computer science and IT, and also some of the engineering faculty programs into it, so that we are coming up with different programs that are multiple level programs that has got to have some components that's coming from all these different faculties. And also what we're trying to do, we're trying to make sure that we're ready for the next cohort of students who will be asking or demanding for all of these. It's not only entrepreneurship or entrepreneurial ventures, it's how we embrace technology into so-called traditional modes of delivery, as well as course components, and also the syllabuses and contents and subcontents, so that we are able to survive with our programs as a faculty in the future. We looked at inside of ourselves, we realized the way we are delivering our lessons in front of 200, 300 students, it's not going to be like that for the near future or maybe future to come. We will have to change ourselves, and we need to change ourselves for the betterment of the human society and cohorts of students so that we are able to cater to their needs and we are able to satisfy the needs of the industry as a whole. Under this umbrella, I feel like sharing with you a video that is basically going to be, mirroring my concerns that I'm having today in my mind. Thank you very much. Let's enjoy the video.
Let's now move to the next section of our panel. We have with us several captains of industry from academia and the private sector who are responsible for not just understanding the way the technology is changing, but indeed creating that technology itself. So we now turn to three leading technologists who are going to share their views on what the future might hold, how large corporations can adapt to and take advantage of these changes, and what we as corporations in the private sector might be able to do to encourage the outcomes that we desire. So let's start with Professor Kaku. Professor Kaku, you've been a leading forecaster of technology for most of your career. What do you think about the digital revolution that we've seen so far? Where is it going, and how might it interact with other forms of technological revolution in science, such as biotechnology?
Well, in the coming years, computer chips will cost as little as a penny. That's cheaper than garbage. Cheaper than scrap paper. So computer chips will be everywhere and nowhere, including our contact lenses. So when we put on our contact lenses and blink, we will go online. And who were the first people to buy internet contact lenses? College students taking final examinations. This means that my students will blink, and they will not have to memorize all the things I've been talking about. This is going to revolutionize education, because we cannot force students to memorize things that they can simply blink and get. And then if you feel sick, you will blink and see RoboDoc. RoboDoc is artificially intelligent, talks to you in plain English or Russian or whatever, speaks any language, accesses the entire internet for sound medical advice, almost for free. This is going to revolutionize the medical establishment. We'll still have doctors, but doctors will use RoboDoc as an aid. And if you're in a car accident in a foreign country, you don't speak the language, you'll talk to your wristwatch and talk to RoboLawyer. RoboLawyer understands the law in any country, in any language. In fact, I personally believe that artificial intelligence, the robotics industry, will eventually become bigger than the automobile industry of today, because your automobile will become a robot. You will talk to it. You will argue with it. You'll have discussions with your car about the best route to take. And when you want to park the car, you simply tell your car, park yourself. And the car parks itself. This is going to revolutionize urban economics when you don't have to worry about parking anymore. And then the next organ to be digitized is the brain. You may not know this, but 2 years ago, scientists were able to upload the first memories. Memories can now be uploaded and downloaded. This makes possible BrainNet. BrainNet could be the next step in the evolution of the internet. Instead of zeros and ones, instead of text, you'll put emotions, feelings, sensations, memories. Teenagers will go crazy. Teenagers put happy faces at the end of every sentence. Why bother to do that when you can put the emotion of your first dance, your first kiss, your first whatever, right there on the internet? And so in the future, when you walk into a room, you will mentally command the internet. You'll take dictation mentally. You'll turn things on, turn things off, communicate with other people. People will think of you as a wizard of some sort, mentally communicating with everything around you. That's BrainNet. And then Biotech is being digitized now. We can create a human body shop. We can create from your own cells, so there's no rejection mechanism. We can create skin, bone, cartilage, noses, ears, blood vessels, heart valves, bladders, complete windpipes can be grown in the laboratory. The next organ to be grown, by the way, is the liver. So for all you alcoholics in the audience, take heart. We may be able to grow your next liver. So even the economy is now being digitized into something I call perfect capitalism. You see, capitalism is based on supply and demand. But you don't know who's cheating you when you buy something. You don't know what the profit margin is. In the future, your contact lens will scan everything in a store, tell you who's cheating you, tell you who has the best product, what is the profit margin on every single thing that you can scan with your contact lens. And so capitalism becomes perfect. Perfect supply and demand. This means that there are winners and losers. The losers will be middlemen. Because why did Amazon become so big? Why did Airbnb, why did Uber become so quickly so large? Because they digitized the middlemen. So I tell my friends, if you want to become a billionaire, take an industry, take any industry. Write down all the places where there's friction, where there is middlemen, where there's obstruction, where there's frustration. List all the places in any industry, digitize it, and you too could become another Amazon founder.
Thank you, Professor. In good futurism, that is a future with both.
So my humble request is, rather than feeling sorry for ourselves because we are going through this pandemic stage now, let's look at the future and what it is going to unfold for us. Let's prioritize our strategies so that we are able to enjoy our time there, and also look internally at ourselves and try to get the best out of all of us so that we're able to move forward. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ghosh. I just want to introduce that, not introduce previously, that Dr. Ghosh was in Australia for 16 years, and last 10 years he is with us in Malaysia as Dean Faculty of Business and Accountancy. Thank you, Dr. Ghosh, for a nice presentation.
Thank you.
And now hand over to you, madam, for the sessions.
Thank you, sir. We are honored to have you here. We have a little change in the schedule because of the urgent meeting. I'm now handing over the dais to Dr. G.S. Batra, Professor, Punjabi University, Patiala. Dr. Gurdeep Singh Batra is Professor and Director, Center for Business Policy Research and Development at Punjabi University, Patiala. He has more than 34 years of research, training, consultancy, and academic experience. He has about 20 books and more than 100 research papers. Please, sir.
My fellow colleagues and delegates from India and abroad, first of all, I take this opportunity to thank the organizers, Sardar Rashpal Singh Dhaliwal, President of Chandigarh Group of Colleges, and Dr. Jaskiran Kaur, Director Management of this institution, for giving me this opportunity to be part of this event. So this event has been organized very well, and there are 8 sub-tracks or sub-themes of this particular virtual conference, which is organized on a very important area of ecology of new economy in the post-COVID-19. So we treat the economy as a subsystem of Earth's larger ecosystem. Though all sectors of the economy have been badly affected by COVID-19, whether it is the health sector, education sector, manufacturing, any other service sector also, and there are a number of other industries have also been affected. So how we ensure sustainability, and when the position eases, how we ensure more resilience and the better and the healthier workforce. And there are going to be so many challenges. But particular track which I have selected is the financial market issues. I'll be speaking on the what is the impact on the stock market and what's the impact on the other segments of the financial sector, financial institution, etc. So of course, since March 2020, so there has been massive fall in the stock market at the world level, whether we talk about the Nasdaq Stock Exchange or NSE or the Shanghai Stock Exchange or world level stock exchanges, there has been a massive fall in the prices of the shares. Whole of the financial sector has also been badly affected. So the next one. So basically, there has been a lot of loss of human lives and a lot of disturbance in terms of economic activities world over. Dr. Manjit also mentioned about the lot of unemployment, job losses, loss of income, and different countries in the world have given packages and they have transferred money in North America and other countries of the world. In India also, some revival strategies have been started by the government in order to make it easier for the people to start in the post-COVID situation or during COVID situation. So it is not a global pandemic and a health crisis. It has affected the financial markets of India and whole of the world. The foreign investment has been affected. The money which was flowing, the remittances which were coming, these have also been affected because of the COVID-19 situation. So the global financial market has also seen crash. And before that also, of course, whenever there was some crisis like East Asian crisis in 1984, or there was a fall of market in 2007-8 also, but presently the market has broken and it has complete lockdown, and since March 2020, there has been the massive fall in the prices, and the NSE, BSE, FTSE, London, Dow Jones, and the Nikkei all saw huge fall as the number of COVID-19 cases grew in the first few months of the crisis. And of course, the portfolio managers, the investors, they are working out the strategies, whether to purchase the shares at this moment of time or to wait for the future when the situation eases and in the new normal, they are able to buy even the shares of the better company which they would not have bought otherwise. So Indian market has also been affected in a big way. And during the Harshad Mehta security scam, which happened in 1992, there was a fall of Sensex by 53%. When in 2000, there was a tech bubble and there was a Sensex crash by 56% in the 1.5 year. And the US real estate Lehman Brothers crisis in 2008, Sensex crashed by 61%. And after the lockdown you can say it was in the middle of the 2020. So after the economy started reviving, there was a fall in the first 3 months to the extent of 30%. And since then, there has been the zigzag, you can say, in terms of the prices of the shares in the world market and in the Indian context also. So what is going to be the financial environment in the post-COVID-19 period? So we need to have the coping strategies in order to meet the challenges of change in the business environment, how the merger and acquisitions are going to take place in the future period of time. Recently, like Amazon becomes one of the top company at the world level in terms of its capitalization, and so many changes are going to take place, and there are the buyback of shares, there is bankruptcy strategies are being adopted. So there has been the liberalization of financial sector. So it is going to take place in case we need to make economy to be more easier, just like giving more, liquidity in the market, pumping in more liquidity in the market through, you can say, as whatever money has been given through the direct transfers in North America and US and Canada. Ultimately, this money will come to the stock market and the whole of the financial market. So in the times to come, there is need to have the more interest rate deregulations so that we have the interest rate, it is linked with the market prices, more tax holidays, more tax concessions, and so that we are able to start some new industries. There, of course, volatility in the foreign exchange rate and the volatility in the inflation rate is there, and how we are going to cope up with these two components, this is also going to be an important challenge for the financial managers of corporate enterprises. Of course, in the post-COVID-19 period, and so globalization of the financial markets, now there is, of course, we are moving toward more localization, and again, to what extent we are able to maintain the balance between the globalization and localization will be another important area. Whatever foreign investment was taking place, it has been badly affected, and how the foreign investment, whether it is FDI or FII, how these investments are taken care of, this will be also another important challenge. There are going to be issues in providing new financial instruments, new financial services, and new financial products, and their cost component, the quality of the services which we provide, the type of product which we provide, this is also going to be another important challenge. And how we link our, since because the linkages between the different markets have been affected, how we link and integrate our stock market with the global stock market in the post-COVID period, this will be also another important area. Just like in the normal times, we have been facing different type of the risk factors. Of course, the global business risks are likely to more increase, and when the volatility is rising, all these risks which we have been talking about, whether it is the foreign exchange risk or commercial risk, economic risk, taxation risk, interest rate risk, and the political risk, all these risks are pertinent, and this will be also another important challenge, that how we are able to cope up with the different type of risk factors. So, of course, the challenges of attracting the new foreign investments in the, you can say, through technology, or whether through tie-up, collaborations, and whether the investment by the foreign companies in the Indian stock market or elsewhere in the world, this is also another important area, that how we restructure our stock market in order to attract more of the FDI and FII within the economy. And this will totally depend upon the policy perspective of the government. So how we change our regulatory framework and how we change our policies in this regard. So from that angle, so different rating agencies, they will continue to play important role in terms of rating of the different countries, in terms of the sovereign rating or the country rating. So hence, creating the conducive business environment by the government also, of course, regarding the entrepreneurship and small and medium enterprises, Government of India has taken some measures so that we are able to revive our enterprises which fall in the area like small and medium, which have been badly affected by way of pandemic. So hence, there are going to be corporate restructuring and the financial restructuring in terms of the buyback of securities or reduction of capital by some companies. And of course, how companies are able to adjust in the new normal situation through the merger and acquisition strategies by having the different forms of restructuring, and the financial considerations, the tax issues, the legal issues will also continue to play important role in the times to come. And the different type of restructuring efforts through the disinvestments and contracting out of services or outright sale, or through takeover and the mergers and privatization are going to be the newer areas where the companies need to find the candidates for the purpose of sale or buying off the different companies in this regard. So of course, we have been, everyone knows that the motivating factors in M&A decisions are the profitability factor, the diversification, the market share, and the synergetic advantage. In the times to come, of course, there are going to be more such alliances, collaborations, takeover, and the mergers, and how these are taken care of by the market forces and by the government regulatory regime also, whether we leave it to the market interventions or whether there are some measures are taken in order to save the companies, etc. This is also another important debatable issue from the research angle and from the policy perspective angle. So, of course, in the post-COVID period, there is need to deepen the reforms in the different sectors of economy, like in Indian context also. So regularly, there are some reforms are going on in the capital market area, and so that we are able to make available more liquidity in the market, and some reform measures have been taken in the recent budget. At the same time, there are money market reforms in order to pump in more liquidity in the market through the open market operation, through the bank rate policy, etc. And the banking sector reforms in one or the other way, that is in terms of interest rate deregulation, interest rate restructuring is also taking place, and the merger and acquisition of the banks is also going to be another important area in the new normal situation. And similarly, the insurance sector, which has also been badly affected because of the COVID situation. In the post-COVID situation, of course, say insuring all the various different type of the assets, so which have been badly affected, and so the newer products and new services will be identified by the insurance sector in this regard. Financial institutions in the form of all India institutions, like in Indian context we have, so which are taking care of the large-scale industrial financing and the medium-term financing being taken care of by the state-level institutions, and the financial sector also includes the banking sector at the same time. So India's competitive advantage lies in terms of integration at the global level. India is a open economy, provides for convertibility clause in terms of the currency, and number of sectors have been open, number of trade barriers have been eased, and this capital flow is taking place, and it is an attractive destination for the more financial flows in terms of the remittances from abroad, in terms of the software, and now in the hardware also it is emerging as a hub in terms of technological linkages. And as a world level scenario in terms of the regional trade grouping, also less like Quad nations. So hence in the times to come, in the new normal situation, Quad is also going to play an important role. India as a knowledge economy, Dr. Manjit has also touched about the area of knowledge capital or the intellectual capital, which is also becoming so important. Like India is a pharmaceutical hub. We have so many patents, and it is factory of the world in terms of the drug supplies or the medicine supplies in this regard. And so hence India enjoys a lot of competitive advantage in the changing situation. So of course, in the post-COVID situation, all these services, which are financial services, these will continue to play an important role. And when you start a company with a leasing or the venture capital, in the times to come for financing the new capital or the new projects also, we need to make more inroads and more changes in this regard. In terms of India is lacking in terms of providing more venture capital opportunities and more leasing opportunities. So government needs to make it easier for the people to establish the industries in terms of ease of doing business index, etc. So there are a number of new financial instruments are likely to emerge. Of course, presently we have so many debt and the equity instruments, and in the times to come, so currency convertible bonds or the other different type of the currencies which are, we need to have the hedging strategies and the derivatives and options and the futures as a risk reduction strategy. So we have the financial instruments in the money market and in the long-term market also available, and in the international market, rather, the variety of instrument is much more. So in the new normal situation, how we are able to cope up with the challenges of facing the risk in terms of introducing new financial instruments, etc. So of course, the corporate governance requirements are likely to change in the COVID-19 situation and the post-COVID-19 situation. So of course, the corporate governance leads to sustainability, And even today, government has announced that in Indian context, that whatever money companies contribute toward the corporate social responsibility, and any money which is contributed toward the, say, making of the hospitals or the strengthening the healthcare sector or the supply of medicines or the vaccines and establishing of facilities for this purpose will also be covered toward the corporate social responsibility and in terms of the corporate governance requirement, etc. So hence, in the new normal situation, so the restructuring through the bankruptcy or through the re-engineering through the financial mode is also going to become another important area. And we need to tap the newer areas of financing in this regard. Of course, in the financial sector, various banks, insurance companies, state-level institutions. So all these institutions are, though these have been functioning in the government sector, need to restructure themselves in order to serve the requirements of the masses in the post-COVID situation so that they are able to meet the challenges of change in this regard, right? So hence, the management challenges include the ensuring competitiveness. So balanced scorecard talks about the customer-centric approach. Of course, in the post-COVID situation also, the customer-driven approach will also give more boost. And number of companies which are working at a very, you can say, without any vision. So in the post-COVID situation, how we develop a strategic outlook, a vision and a strategy to stay in the market for a longer period of time, and how to revive those industries is also going to be another important challenge. Building the quality processes through various international standards, and the organizations which have suffered a lot, how they learn, how they restructure, and how they become a learning organization in order to revive in the new era will also be an important thing to see. So, and how we use the technology and the financial innovations in the times to come. So, of course, the likely recovery path, so of course, it is in terms of the government policy perspective. According to an assessment by the World Economic Forum, supporting small and medium enterprises and large businesses is crucial for maintaining employment and financial stability. So many advanced economies in the world have rolled out support packages, but India's economic stimulus package is 10% of its GDP, Japan's 21.1%, followed by US 13%, Sweden 12%, Germany 10.7%, France 9.3%, and Spain 7.3%, and so on. So hence I think in Indian context, government is working out to provide more stimulus packages as hinted by the Finance Minister of the India that the COVID situation is not that good. And so in this period of time, we need to give more stimulus to the industry and to the other sectors of the economy. So of course, government has a more focus on the self-reliance. In this regard, there are a number of such packages and the new policies have been rolled out in terms of the Atmanirbhar Bharat, which itself means the self-reliance of the country, and to provide relief to the medium, small, and micro enterprises in the form of increase in the credit guarantees. Therefore, strong monetary policies, fiscal policies, industrial policy will require to be coordinated on the more international scale for maximum impact, and it would be effective in terms of boosting the spending in the recovery phase. So instead of, say, promoting more of the savings and the investment portfolio, and so the spending is being given a lot of importance so that there's more push to the overall world level economy as such. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Moving forward, our next keynote speaker is Dr. Sandeep Podar, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Research and Innovation, Lincoln University College, Malaysia. Dr. Sandeep Podar served as Senior Research Director and Executive Editor, Lincoln University College, Malaysia, has graduated with honors in zoology. He has obtained postgraduate diploma in dietetics, Masters of Science in Zoology with specialization in biochemical genetics. He has completed PhD in zoology from Vivekananda Institute of Medical Sciences. He has published several research papers, filed patents, and organized international conferences, and also edited books in Malaysia and India. He has initiated the International Journal of Advancement in Life Science Research. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. And I just want to share my screen. Are we running late? How much time I can get, madam? 10 minutes or less?
So 12 to 15 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. Today we are here by the call of Chandigarh Group of Colleges, by the Faculty of Management, and today we are discussing on third international virtual conference, discussing on the ecology of new economy in post-COVID-19. And as all the previous speaker has been described about the business and COVID situation, and of course, Dr. Ghosh have described about the new technologies, how we are thinking. I must share one thing, that when I was a student, that time in the cold place, I was a student in Dalbagh, and there is a rule that all master students must wear uniform. I don't have a gray color blazer, means sweater, but I have the blue blazer, and my proctor told, you should buy a small necktie so that the sweater can be seen as gray. So when I listening to Dr. Ghosh, so I remember that days that there will be like this type of blazer and shirt to present ourselves. So I am talking from the aspect of environment and how we are depending on environment and ecology with the economy. As all of us, we are working together. We are working together in the goals set by the United Nations, the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, starting from no poverty, zero hunger, good health, and ending to networking and partnership of the goals. From this picture, we can easily see that if there is poverty, there will be hunger. If there is hunger, we cannot think about education and good health. And if we don't have work opportunity, we will be having the poverty and hunger always. Whatever we discuss and talk and everything we do, we have to all work together for achieve the goals for our betterment. For this, we are here, the researchers and the discussions, the faculty members, we have to look out from our window to the whole world. Where is the need for our service? And accordingly, we have to serve the community. And we are here to serve the community, not serve our own. Just I am giving an example that our earth, we know that 3 parts is water, 1 part on land. So how much, within 1 part, how much human is occupied? Very less. We are thinking we are the boss of the world, but we are nothing in the hand of nature. Just, I'm sharing, there is a water figure of UNDP. You can see how much ocean is covered and how much economy is depending on the ocean. And for that, United Nations Sustainable Development Goal have a 14 number goal, life below water. We are thinking the life below water. Why? Because the life of water is more powerful than life on the earth. I am not going to discuss so much because the time is limited. Later on, another day, we will have a great discussion on this, and I must interact with all the researchers, not one-way talk. So now we have news that disposable plastic face mask poses huge risk. And it is a proof paper that the plastic face mask is used, formed by the plastic materials, nanomaterials, and it go to the ocean and creates the pollution, plastic pollution in the ocean. Not only the plastic mask, face mask, we are using 3-layer mask. Not only that, we are using PPE, we are using the gloves, everything. It go to the nature, it go to the water, and this is causing a huge loss to the economy, means ecology, and of course economy. So we have to save. It is the mask. It is going to the water, not saving the shark or any dolphin or the shark. It is, you can see the eye is going out, bulging out. It is going to die due to this mask. And we found the plastic packets in the fish stomach, not only fish, on the land below earth also. We found the plastic packets in the cattle, in the cow, in the goat, and you can see the gloves simply died, cause for the death of the fish. So we have many things we are facing for this plastic pollution. There are many articles you can go through in the net. So we have a huge dumping of PPE and gloves during this COVID new normal era. There is no choice. We have to use, and we have to dump it, and we have to think. Not only that, we are using now online delivery system for food because we cannot go and buy the food directly. So we are using the plastic bag, the plastic the carrier, the thermocol boxes, even the jacket. All these is non-recyclable and causing a huge pollution like this thermocol. You know, it is not the foam of the sea, it is thermocol of the sea. So how we can survive? Again, the 3R: regulate, reuse, and replace. But it is not that reuse means I use others' mask and wear. It is not the business. We have to reuse what we can reuse, like the plastic plates where we go for taking food. We can take our own utensils. We can bring our own cup in the restaurant and containers to carry the food. Our cup to take the tea at the workplaces, etc. Our own water bottle, not take the mineral water bottle and throw. So these are the common things what we can do together to save our earth, save us. Not that only earth is saving. We have to share our own things. That old proverb, like one person trash is another person's treasure. So we don't waste. Whatever we can reuse, we should reuse. Even a person's hand is broken, I cannot cut the part, means I cannot kill the person. We have to plaster and use. So we have to think that don't use and throw always. Whatever we can reuse, we should reuse. This is just only one goal I am discussing. So we can do many things at home, minimize the waste. At store, we can have an impact on the customer consumers that don't use plastic bags. We are using by bringing my own bag. In school also, we can do this. We can college and schools, we can teach the students and all the researchers here. We can move forward and we can make a campaign against this pollution. So these all can be done. Many procedures we are using now, like the plastic is used for the road formation, but not that is end. That road also leaching the plastic nanomaterials to the water. So it is not the same. We are there is something we cannot control. That is like this ship or oil tanker burst, breakdown. That is not in our hand and causing the water pollution and loss of economy. Here, one picture many of you have received maybe in WhatsApp group before few days. I just take this picture. You see here on the leaf there are ants drinking the water. They have divided themselves in 4 groups equally to balance the water drop. They are drinking the water and they are not let the water ball to go drop to go down. They are balancing by rounding it in the 4th side by making 4 groups. So this is the collaboration network that what we have to think and cooperate, share, and give everyone his right. Then only we can move forward. And next and last is the SDG goal number 17, networking and collaboration. By networking and collaboration, this ant, you can see, they can break, means they can carry an elephant in their home by this networking and collaboration. So as you are in India, other person in USA, other collaborator in Canada, I am in Malaysia, networking and collaboration and research activity and sharing our views in this platform. So with this, I just want to share one video. As we get so here, rest of our art is this year's World Earth Day motto. Yesterday it was World Earth Day, and today we are here to again for this international virtual conference on ecology and new economy. So ecology is the main thing where the economy is based. We cannot think without what we need first is food. As per Maslow's rule, we are in the ground. First need is the food, shelter, and everything. So when we look at the pyramid of Maslow, the motivational theory, then we must know that we need the first the food. From where the food will come? From the nature. So whole economy is depending on this nature earth. So we have to take care of our nature first. So with this, I must thank with this beautiful invitation from Madam and also the Director of Chandigarh College Group of Colleges, Madam Justin Kaur, and also the President Sir, and all the the organizing committee, and thanking all of you from the Lincoln University of Malaysia. We are here to collaborate and we share more information and news and our knowledges in future. Thanking you all. Stay safe. Madam cannot hear.
Thank you, sir. I just wanted to ask if we have Dr. Hajbibi for the session. Thank you so much, sir. Moving to our next speaker, that is Professor Aldo Jose Brunhara, Institutional Relations Director, International Business School, Brazil. He has done his PhD in Business Administration from ESPM and has over 20 years of executive experience in multinational companies. His main attribution in International Business School, Brazil, is the cross-curricular articulation of teachers and the orientation of groups of students for the development of the projects of entrepreneurship and innovation. Over to you, sir.
At the Chandigarh Group of College event, Congress, touching base about digital marketing in the area of COVID-19. Thank you very much for everybody to be here with us today, and I hope you enjoy our quick conversation. My first question to you about social media and about this moment that we are facing is, have we changed or have we been changed by COVID-19? So that's a question that it brings to us because we can see lots of change in terms of consumer behavior, in terms of using social media, because we are using because we are forced nowadays a little bit more. So the 4.0 digital transformation is accelerated because this wave of transformation, according to Peter Drucker, transformation, innovation comes from outside the company. So this wave of innovation that has been forced by COVID-19 is also impacting the social media way in terms of marketing, in terms of how we think about it, and how the consumers use it. So several ways of social media you can use, especially for accessing news, to check if fake news are really correct, in terms to get up-to-date information. And also because of the social distance, we have to connect with our friends, with our family in a safer way. So social media is a tool that has make it possible during this COVID-19, this pandemic. So it's very important for us to take this into consideration, because even though the innovation that we are seeing nowadays is moved by an outside event that happened to us in the external environment, but we are assimilating this very well in our way, because otherwise how we could survive in terms of social distancing, how to guarantee that we protect our dearest one. So for a company in business as well, this has increased a lot because e-commerce has increased its participation in the marketing. The consumers are changing, so physical contact, physical purchase has reduced, and consumers are more open to go online and purchase on there. This has impacted different generations. We can see older people, we can see children, we can see lots of middle-aged consumers jumping to how to use WhatsApp, how to use Facebook chat, how to use others media tools. So we can see that we are moving from offline to online situation. So we are moving to online situation in terms to connect people to get business done. In the marketing, the social marketing, we have to think how to impact these consumers, According to A.T. Kearney, by 2027, sixth generation will be the consumers. And so we have to consider that because we are moving from more older people, from baby boomers, from X generation, from millennials, and also that we call Z generation, and also the Alpha generation that is more recently will be by 2027, will be consumers as well. So the companies is required to think about how we implement social media well in terms of increasing your market share, your results, your financial results, your increase in the sales. In terms of social media, we can see that according to United States research, we can see that YouTube, Facebook, Instagram are the most used platforms. So we can see YouTube 81 are accessing information. So it's a way for you to learn a little bit more. Even though programs or courses online has increased tremendously, nowadays lots of universities around the world are using online programs to continue updating the students, continue their program for not losing a year, not losing a semester. This has improved a lot in terms of usage. There's a limitation in terms of the broadcast of the internet. It depends on the region you are. It's better. Nowadays, with the 5.0 generation of internet coming, this will bring more fast internet for everybody. This will also create opportunities for business in social media. We can see here also that there's a lots of increase in terms of e-commerce. We can see that 2020 has been grown 5 times faster than before the pandemic. We can see that, like for example, in UK, the e-commerce increased 4.5 times more than before the pandemic. Even though in India, we can see that it's double the size in terms of e-commerce. We can see United States going 3.3 times in terms of increasing the e-commerce transactions that are online. And this is related to e-commerce that are impacted by social media plans, by your marketers that have to think about how to reach your consumer. The first thing you have to think about who is your persona and how we can use that platform for you to increase. It depends on the persona you have to think about. Persona is a way for you to think about the characteristics of your consumer, and you have to be a very good communicator and very good in communication to your customer, because it depends on the communication you do, you're going to increase and impact better the consumers. According to Amazon, the Feed Advisor 2021, we can see a lots of increase in terms of Amazon from 2019 to 2020 increased over 20% increase in this only 1 year in terms of e-commerce. So you can see that e-commerce is really impacting a lot the brands, impacting a lot the companies. And this increase of the digital impact is related to how you connect with your customer as well. In terms of how you use mobile is 68% of the transactions. So we are moving more from fixed line to mobile line, especially in more mature economies. But of course, in developing economies, this will impact as well, because the governments are changing and updating their internet broadcast. This is a great source for branding establishment for you to improve the performance. So we have to think about social media. Very careful nowadays, depends how you act. This will create a chain of opportunities or a chain of barriers. So be careful what you publish. Be careful how you put your product on social media, because that will be registered there. And to change it, it's going to cost a lot of money. It's going to cause you a lot of problems. We can see this also increasing in lots of countries. We can see commerce, for example, in Brazil has increased a lot in terms over the last years, in the same as in the other countries. So Brazil, India, China, and of course United Kingdom, United States, and Europe are increasing a lot the e-commerce. My question now to you is, what are the challenges nowadays according to the U.S. digital media social professionals? So I bring to you here some information. So the challenge for us will be, we have to be careful about the publication that, as I mentioned to you, about the cookies that creates on our publicity. So they have to be very, very careful on that, okay? And then have to be attribution, that you have to think about which kind of niche of market I'm reaching out. So be accurate in terms of this, be accurate in terms of management, and in terms of how is the return of investment I put in social media, and that's returning to my company. Of course, you want to increase your market share, but you have to be careful, because sometimes we spend a lot of money in social media, but it's not returning to your company. As a business man, as a business manager, you have to think about the impact on your results as well. This will impact a lot of things in terms of the trend. So in terms of the legislation as well, that's a tremendous impact nowadays, especially for protecting data from consumers. It's another issue. So if you work in social media, you have also to work very careful on this, because the protection of your customers' profile, your customers' behavior is very important for the sustainability of your business. All right, I hope you enjoy our conversation. We are just here about to end my initial thoughts. And my last message to you is let's think about ahead, because technology is here knocking in our door. Take advantage of this. Try to improve your penetration in terms of social media. Be careful. Be very critical in terms of who is my customer, what he wants, and how I can better service him. And this will create value to your organization. Okay? Thank you very much. Have a nice day. And thank you very much again, Shingahat Group of College, for your invitation.
Mr. Vivek Atrey, who's an ex-IAS, a motivational TEDx speaker, author of Finding Success Within, mentor, advisor, columnist, and visiting professor. He has 8 TEDx talks and 3 Josh talks, over 3 million views on YouTube. He is the chairman of the Uganda Center for Theology, chairman of the Public Relations Council of India, PRCI Chandigarh, empaneled with Speaking Minds International Speakers Bureau, member of the Governors Advisory Council for Chandigarh, founder of Vibrant Networking Forum, Chandigarh Literary Society, and co-convener of InTouch Chandigarh. Welcome, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So I'm indeed very delighted to be speaking at this very important conference. I wish I could have been there on stage with you, but times are difficult and we are all connected anyhow. It is a wonderful initiative by the Chandigarh Group of Colleges, CGC Janjeri, to carry out these sessions. So I'm thankful to the President and the Chancellor and the Vice Chancellor and also the Professor Jaskiran, who has invited me. It's a pleasure always to come to the campus, such a beautiful campus you have, and it is always throbbing with students. Hopefully, we'll be back to that paradigm of students on campus this year and not far from now. Just some good news for you before I start talking on the subject. I have been speaking to very senior people in the health department or health ministry and experts, and also my own intuition, although I'm a layman in medical terms, tells me that the pandemic in India, which has seen the second phase and the second wave, has risen so swiftly in the last month or month and a half, is likely to subside at the same rate very quickly once the decline starts. And hopefully that will happen in the month of May. And we are all looking forward to that because it has become a terrible crisis for the country. And factors such as economy and education and others take a second place to healthcare when something like this happens. And I often say that the role of education is to prepare the future, prepare the young people for the future, and to nurture them, to train them, to educate them, to inculcate skills in them. But the role of the healthcare sector is to do the repair job, to look after the health of people, to treat them, to take care of them, to save them from grave injuries or illnesses. Education and healthcare are the key to the progress of any country. So if we talk of the ecology post-COVID and the economic reforms that will be required, I think we have to invest more, number one, on healthcare in the long run. What happens is that in the past, we have tended to spend very little of our GDP on education and healthcare. Below 4% of our GDP of India has been spent on these two vital sectors, 4% for education, 4% for healthcare, even less. And sectors such as infrastructure and defense and services and salaries, etc., have taken much more of the revenue. If we look at the economy depends on the health of the country. If the population is healthy and vibrant and educated, then only we can move forward. So I was speaking at an international conference last 2 years ago, as well as 3 years ago in Spain. And one of the topics there was the Indian economy and the roadmap ahead. I was chairing a session. And of course, the pandemic was not there at that time. but I can see a few things which are necessary even now. The first is we need to make sure that our youth is employable. At this rate, when we are now looking at technology, and the previous panelist was speaking about technology, when we're looking at technology to yield results in terms of education, in terms of exchange, in terms of interactions, in terms of meetings, in terms of work from home, then the youth has to be all the more educated and qualified and capable of communicating. We know that our youngsters in India are often technically skilled, and they are okay in terms of technical knowledge, and some of them are very, very bright. But very few of them can actually hold their own when it comes to talking to new people, writing emails, preparing good reports, or making presentations, or giving a speech, or representing your company or organization or university or country. It is very difficult for the Indian youth to become communicative at the professional level because we are hardly paying any attention in our schools or even colleges or universities on this aspect. So the first thing to do is to skill our youth in a manner that they are employable, that the industry wants them. Otherwise, the industry is looking for a particular level, and the youth coming out of the colleges and universities are of another level. They may be technically skilled, as I said, but they do not have the capacity to communicate, to take decisions, their leadership qualities, their emotional intelligence, their problem-solving skills, their creativity levels. This is what is lacking in our education system. And if education is able to impart these skills and these qualities, only then we will have what is considered to be a population of young people who are readily employable, who are ready to be absorbed in the industry. And that is something which is very, very vital to the context. So therefore, we need to think as to how we can strengthen our education paradigm in the years ahead. More budgeting for government institutions, more salaries for teachers. I am very blunt when I say that the teachers need to be put on a higher pedestal than they are in society. I am an educator in a way now, after having resigned from the IAS, having spent 26 years in the IAS and at CS, and having become a motivational speaker and professor and speaker. I meet a lot of teachers and a lot of faculty development programs, etc., etc. I meet a lot of youth and students. I personally feel that the stature of teachers in society has to be much higher. Professors, lecturers, school teachers, principals, directors, their status has to be enhanced. How can it be done? Number one, their salaries need to be better. Number two, the people being absorbed in the teaching profession, the quality of recruitment needs to be better. A person who could not get a job in the corporate sector, if he or she becomes a teacher because he could not get a job elsewhere, then that person is not going to be passionate enough or educated enough or qualified enough to teach. So we need to imbibe in our young students that yearning that many of them want to become teachers. I was deputy commissioner of Panchkula a few years ago, and I'd gone to one village or many villages at times. I would ask the schools and the children in the class, what do you want to become when you grow up? And they would say police and doctor and engineer and this, that, and the other. Nobody said teacher. One girl in one particular class once said, I want to be a teacher. And that was a rare thing. So I want to, first of all, emphasize the point that we need to strengthen our education sector by more budgets, more stature, more glamour even, more celebrities being involved in teaching. You know that the American professors of any university, they are like demigods. People will, they will trail them, they'll take selfies with them, they will send emails of praise to them, they will treat them as if they are national and international celebrities, which they are. And they are so qualified and so capable. But we also have capable and qualified people. More of them need to be recruited, and the stature and status needs to improve. The second key bulwark of economy is the healthcare sector. We don't understand that when we strengthen our education and healthcare, only then the economy can boom in the future. It is not enough to build roads and set up powerhouses, and not enough to collaborate with the foreign lands or countries, import-export trade agreements, etc. It is essential to strengthen healthcare also. And the pandemic has shown up the whole world that we were not prepared for anything like this. And we are back to 1918 in terms of 1917 in terms of how to handle a flu. It is basically a flu. It is a virus, but it is something which is an epidemic in a way because it has spread so fast. We are not equipped in terms of basics. Even our basic dispensaries, our hospitals, etc., their professionalism, their purchase procedures, their equipment, their maintenance, their machinery, everything needs to be top of the board. And their professionals also need to be recruited professionally. Again, the medical services, the staff, the nurses, the attendants, the lab attendant, etc., needs to be recruited professionally. Doctors still are of a high quality in India, we know that, but their commitment, their dedication is tested at such a time now when we are seeing only the doctors and the nurses and the healthcare fraternity is holding the fort. I saw a cartoon where the whole burden of the country at the moment is on the shoulders of the medical fraternity. And at that moment, obviously, they will suffer. They are suffering themselves. And it has been more than a year since this is on. We need to strengthen our healthcare system. That is the reason. Now, the third thing is the environment. We often think that economy means, industrialization, mechanization, heavy infrastructure building creation. But if we cut our trees, if we denude our forests, if we are not taking care of the ecology, the environment, then we are not able to take care of our planet. We are not able to take care of our own resources. And the future of the world will be at stake. And if we are not planting more trees, if we are not looking after our river waters, our clean drinking water, we are not taking care of the population of the world. And then let's talk of the population. Who is speaking about the population these days? In India, I don't hear anybody speaking about population explosion. If India had resources which were the same as we have now, with a population which was only 60% of what we have now, the resources allocation would be much better. The same population would have been rich and well off because of the numbers being manageable. Even in healthcare, even in education, even otherwise, the numbers being manageable. We need to focus on population control going forward. And COVID is not going to last forever. And COVID is not the only reason why we should be thinking of economy going forward. We need to think of the economy in a manner that it is long-term plans and not 5-year plans. We need to think how we will skill our population. We need to think how we will create the infrastructure needed. We need to think how we'll have our basics of healthcare education in place. We need to think how we will save the environment from being degraded. Then the last point I want to make, because I believe I had 15 minutes, and that's good enough. The last point I wanted to make is that we need to encourage and boost sectors where investment is not really needed to that extent, but training is needed. Tourism, for example. Our tourism potential is vast. Our tourism potential is endless. The number of tourists coming to India, of course, pandemic is not the time for tourists to come, but after pandemic, can we have double or 5 times the number of tourists coming to India from foreign lands? Can they feel safe in our country in terms of security? Can they have clean drinking water always? Can they have toilets which are clean? Can they be tempted to go to places which are so beautiful, not only the Taj Mahal, but everywhere in India? We are proud of the Taj Mahal. We are proud of our various other heritage sites. We are proud of modern day tourism, paragliding. We are proud of our cultural heritage. our dance forms, our music, our food. Can we promote India in that extent? I personally feel that our economy will get a big boost, especially post-pandemic, when the tourism paradigm will also change. When people will suddenly start traveling again, let's say next year. Are we ready? Are we ready to get a large segment of that population from Europe, from Asia, from Japan, from America, from Australia? Many, many millions of people are going to neighboring countries like Indonesia or Thailand. They're going to Singapore. The population of Singapore is 5 million, let's say. The number of tourist arrivals is 10 million per annum. So double the population of Singapore tours Singapore every year. Whereas in India, you can't have double the population of India coming every year. But at least we can have 10 times the tourism that Singapore has. Why can't we have that many tourists visiting? The economic prosperity, the employment, the hospitality sector boom will lead to a great deal of change. Then the last point I want to make, very last point, is that technology is in our favor. India has the talent to enable technology to make India a smarter place to work and live. A tourist who wants to come to India should have the best website leading him to Punjab or Himachal or Haryana or Jammu Kashmir or wherever it is safe to travel. Why are our websites substandard at times? Why should the website of Fiji Islands or the tourism of Singapore be better than tourism of India? Our technology giants are so good, so big. We have so many resources. Our educational institutions' websites are sometimes very good, and we need to improve them further. More students will come. The comfort level which a person feels interacting online with an institution or a country or an organization is a big factor in decision making. I'll repeat that point. The comfort level which an individual feels while interacting with an educational organization, a department, a tourism hospitality organization, a company, a service delivery provider, that comfort level is a big factor in decision making. If I have to spend 5 minutes extra as a busy professional somewhere in the world, I may get tired and bored of it and go to some other website, some other country, some other company, some other college. I need to strengthen my online presence, make it seamless, make it a beautiful experience for users. Our economy will suffer if we don't do so. We need to boost our technology presence, our infrastructure, and make our focus correct. So to recap, lastly, skill development, and that to soft skills, human skills, emotional intelligence among our youth, increasing and enhancing the stature of teachers and professors, focusing on the healthcare sector, not only during pandemic, but at all times, and also strengthening our cultural values, traditions, our sports, our activities of that kind, and then strengthening the economy by carrying out focused preparation in sectors like tourism and hospitality and industrial development with a plan, and protecting our environment at the same time. These are my ideas and thoughts and my experiences I've shared. I'll be very happy to be connected with all of you through LinkedIn or Instagram. My name is Vivek Atrey. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your comprehensive views on various dimensions. We are honored to have our next keynote speaker, Dr. Ritu Lahil, who is currently working as a professor in University School of Applied Management and has additional charge of director in Women's Studies Center till date. She has 27 years of teaching and research experience. She has 4 research books published and more than 45 research papers published in various referred journals like Business Analyst, South Asian Journal of Management, Business Vision, Journal of Management, and much more. She has also organized 7 national and international conferences till date and completed various research projects funded by both university and outside agencies. Over to you, ma'am. Please.
Thank you very much. Experts sitting on the stage and experts from abroad and participants. My topic is a little different from whatever we have been discussing till now. Its impact of COVID-19 on gender equality, especially in India. Swami Vivekananda said that the best thermometer to check the progress of a nation is its treatment to its women. Unfortunately, we Indians fail badly on this parameter. Along with many other problems in our overall system, we couldn't deal with COVID-19 situation in any effective or appreciable manner, be it problem of social security to a common man, health facilities, employment opportunities, and providing a reasonable level of living standard like developed countries. If we talk about gender issues or gender equality, COVID-19 has further deteriorated the situation. India has a unique patriarchal system where majority of the decisions are taken by males, and root cause of all such inequalities and discrimination is our male-dominant society. No country can ever progress if you are excluding 50% of the population from decision-making process. I will just talk about 3-4 major issues where women have been hit adversely by COVID-19. First problem is the rate of losing jobs by women due to this pandemic is 1.8 times higher than the job loss by men globally. In India, we think a woman works only for additional financial support to the family, so her job is not considered as important as the job of a male. Here also you can see a lot of discrimination in firing women first. In teaching also, many teachers either lost their jobs or had to work at a lesser salary during this situation and in more stressful conditions. Women are more vulnerable to such type of retrenchments. Second problem they faced was sudden increase in cases of domestic violence during lockdown period. National Commission of Women found an increase of 239 cases of domestic violence only in March and April 2020. Domestic violence not only increased in India, but throughout the world. That's why UN termed it as shadow pandemic. It shows clearly that women are not safe in their homes also. As per the detail of NCRB, National Crime Record Bureau of India, an average of 87 rape cases were recorded every single day in 2019 in India. That too, when reporting of cases for crime against women is too low and more than 20% cases go unreported. What I mean to say is she is not safe in public and even not safe with her own family members. If rate of cases of crime against women reduced because of lockdown, then rate of domestic violence cases increased parallel. So one way or the other way, she will be the target of discrimination and inequality. During lockdown, the working women suffered another type of pressure when they tried to maintain a work-life balance. In our traditional families, she is expected to do the whole household work, looking after the children and also performing their jobs effectively on online modes. The situation got worse when domestic helpers also stopped coming due to lockdown. Too much of stress from all directions affected her health also. I will touch one more important issue. We all are in teaching and we can see discrimination in online teaching and learning both. Digital literacy in India is less than 10% of total population. 70% of the students in government schools have very less access to digital platforms. Virtual learning can never be replaced with traditional classroom learning in India. During COVID-19 lockdown, holding online classes was the only option to complete the syllabus of ongoing semester, along with having a non-supportive environment at the family level. Female teachers faced certain other type of problems while holding the classes. I know a few school teachers who were so stressed on one side due to family responsibilities, on other side due to their jobs, where they had no fixed working hours for taking online classes. Another issue is our patriarchal society. Best mobile or computer or net facilities is first provided to a male child in conventional families for attending online classes. Lady teachers especially faced more problems during online classes. For example, one lady teacher who was showing PPT slides to students on online classes, some students started showing a porn video simultaneously. On some platforms, teachers don't have full control in their hands, like Google Meet or some other platforms. In one class, unknown male students, they entered in the class and started using abusive language just for fun's sake. Teachers learnt with passage of time how to tackle with such problems. They took some time to become tech savvy also. Such examples show that this unwanted behavior was seen majority in cases of boys. Again, the root cause is the system prevailing in our society, where boys feel that they are very powerful, they can do anything, anywhere, they can use abusive language, show disrespect to females, enjoy their freedom to any extent, no one can stop them. So in the end, on the whole, gender equality is still a theoretical concept in India, be it a normal situation or COVID-19 situation. Nothing will change if we are not ready to change our mindsets. So collectively, we all should have to take it as a challenge that we will also be a progressive society by adopting inclusive approach for all genders. Only then we can expect some positive change. In the end, I congratulate Dr. Jaskiran and Chandigarh Group of Colleges for organizing this wonderful conference and on a very relevant issue. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Our next speaker is Dr. Ravinder Singh, who is currently working as a Director, Punjab University Regional Centre, Director, Punjab University Extension Library, Ludhiana, and Professor in Finance, University Business School, Ludhiana. He has 21 years of teaching experience and 11 years of administrative experience. He has edited book on researchers on paradigm shift in banking and published a book on international accounting, and also has more than 20 research articles in national and international journal of high repute to his credit. He has membership in various professional bodies, Standing Committee, College Development Council, Punjab University, Chandigarh, Board of Studies, Central University of Punjab, Bathinda, Board of Studies, Department of Business Management, Guru Nanak Dev Engineering College, Ludhiana, to name a few. Please, sir.
First of all, thanks a lot for the nice introduction. And thanks to Dr. Jaskiran Kaur for inviting me here to this, very important international conference. Sorry. On the theme, the ecology of new economy, post-COVID-19. The topic which I have chosen for deliberation in this conference is Atam Nirbhar Bharat, Self-Reliant India, a post-COVID strategy to reboot Indian economy. Right now we know that the pandemic is on. We are moving through the second phase of this pandemic in India. And it is causing a lot of damage to the human health as well as to the economy. But when we were in the first peak of this COVID-19 pandemic in India, our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, he shared a vision of making India Atam Nirbhar Bharat in May 2020. And along with that, he shared the strategy also, which can take India to higher levels, which can make India Atam Nirbhar. But, this concept, Atam Nirbhar Bharat, is not new to us. If not older than, that, if I can recall that, correctly, this vision actually was used as a strategy around 115 years back by the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi ji, in the year 1905 as a part of the Swadeshi movement. Thank you. It's not moving. Okay, thank you. So this Swadeshi movement of 1905, it had a lot of psychological impact in getting, India freed from the Britishers. After Mahatma Gandhi, after independence, our first Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, put in a lot of efforts, rigorous efforts, to make India self-reliant. He launched a 5-year planning phase wherein a lot of investment was done in the agriculture sector. A lot of investment was done in the industrial sector of the economy to make India self-reliant. And then now, in 2020, when the COVID pandemic was at its peak, our present Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, again shared the vision with the people of the country to make India self-reliant. And India is a huge country, we know that, with a population of somewhere around 135 crore people. We have the potential. India can become Atam Nirbhar. India can become self-reliant. But we need to know where do we stand as on today, and what we are actually required to do to achieve this vision of Atam Nirbhar Bharat. And this Atam Nirbhar Bharat is a dynamic thing. What we are trying to do through this vision for the country, we are trying to make India capable, not only of meeting the need of its own people, but we are trying to make India competent, capable to meet the need of the people from outside country as well. And I'm saying that this concept Atam Nirbhar is a dynamic thing, because the need of the people, the requirements of the people, it is changing with the passage of time. And the countries with whom we are thinking of competing, the countries whom we are thinking of surpassing, the countries like United States of America, the countries like China, they are very, very, active, rather proactive in seeing the future and upgrading themselves, as per the requirement of the future. So we have to, we are working in that environment. And in case we want to make India Atmanirbhar, so we'll have to work very, very rigorously. And the strategy which our Honorable Prime Minister listed out to make India Atmanirbhar included actually 5 pillars initially when he announced this vision. I shared this vision with the people of the country. It was economy, it was infrastructure, system, democracy, demand, and the 6th pillar was added in the recently announced budget, finance bill of the country for the year 21-22. And the 6th pillar was the research and development. So this is what our government is working upon to help the country in achieving that vision of making India Atmanirbhar, vision of making India self-reliant. But we need to see where actually we are standing as on today, and how fairly we are actually performing on these 6 pillars, which we are aiming at to make India Atmanirbhar. So where does India stand on today? We are thinking of making India Atmanirbhar, but we need to know as on today how much dependent we are on the rest of the world. So India is having a population, we know, of more than 135 crore people, and our share in the global population comes out to be 17.7%. And this is the major resource through which we can transform India and can achieve our objective of making India Atmanirbhar. We are occupying a land share in the globe of 2.4%. We are having a GDP which is 3.09% of the world's GDP, and our share in the exports is 1.67%. And so far as our dependence on the world is concerned, that we can see through the last point, India is importing products which are valued at 24% of our gross domestic product. And this is the data about from where we are actually importing. I will not go into the detail because we have around 12 to 15 minutes with us. You can see the major quantum of imports which we are doing from many countries. Actually, it is from China, and till the year 2019, we were importing 13.6% of whatever we were exporting, of that from China. And astonishingly, you can see in the slide that this share of the goods imported from China has gone up from 13.68% to 18% during the period April-September 2020. Whereas we are thinking of reducing our dependence on the rest of the world, particularly on China, what we see that our dependence has actually gone up from a share of 13.68% in imports. This has gone up to actually 18%. And the situation is not, that simple. It is a bit severe. I'll share the data with you. We are, as on today, importing somewhere around 423 products from the rest of the world. And out of those 423 products, 119 products, they are imported in such a huge quantity that the value of the product imported is more than $100 million. And out of these 119 tariff lines, 86 tariff lines, they are dominated by China. Okay, so we are in a big way dependent on the factory of the world, China. 17 tariff lines, they are dominated by South Korea, and 6 by Vietnam. So these are the countries from where we are importing products, each product having a value of more than $100 million of import. And in the list, you can see major chunk is coming from China. And out of the 86 lines, the products which we are importing from China, these include consumer electronics, computer hardwares, telephone equipment, it includes electronic items, it includes air conditioners, refrigerators, pharmaceutical products. Few of the speakers in the earlier sessions, they were talking about making India digitalized. And I tell you, for that also, we are actually hugely dependent on China. In case we think of using the fiber optics, we are importing it from China. In case we think of making use of laptops, we are importing it from China. Mobile phones, we are importing from China. I'll share the data in detail with you. So this is the state of the Indian pharmaceutical industry, which is there in front of you. India is known as the pharmacy of the world. We are providing medicines to the rest of the world in such a quantity, with such a quantity that we have been designated as the pharmacy of the world. But this pharmacy actually has got very, very weak foundation because 70% of the APIs, that is active pharmaceutical ingredients, they are imported from China, 70%. The simple medicines like paracetamol, like antibiotics, like penicillin. In case you can see on the slide, paracetamol, 100% of the paracetamol ingredients, the APIs which are used for making paracetamol tablets, they are imported from China. Norfloxacin, which is a very, very famous medicine, 100% of its API is imported from China. Then ciprofloxacin, and you can see 95.8% of its APIs, they are imported from China. So we are thinking of making India Atmanirbhar, but over the last 2 decades, China has, penetrated to such an extent in our economy that, it is not easily possible for us to, achieve onto that vision of making India Atmanirbhar. I'm not pessimistic, but we need to know where actually we are standing as on today. Then electronic products. I was talking about, speakers were talking about making India digitalized. So in digitalization, you'll be making use of the electronic equipments. Just have a look onto the data. Electronic integrated circuits. The quantum is, which is imported from China, it is $959 million. And 97.9% of the import we are making from China. Motorcycles, modems, smart cards, color televisions having a size of 74 centimeter and above, 89.8% we are importing from China. Mobile phones, 83% of them we are importing from China. So this is the state of affair, and it is not that only electronic products and pharmaceutical products we are importing from China. There are a number of things. Like, right now we are thinking of going in for the, natural sources of energy like wind power, solar power, etc., etc. The components which are used in the equipments used for manufacturing, for producing the wind power and solar power, most of them, they are being imported from China. So the data is there in front of you. You can have a look, such as, this is the severity of the, situation we are facing in front of us. And this data I have taken from the Directorate General Commercial Intelligence and the Statistics Department of Commerce, Government of India. So this is available onto their website. You can just check it. So this is, the level of dependence. And from here, we are planning to make India Atmanirbhar. And this is again a news which appeared in one of the leading newspapers. China displaces United States to become India's top trade partner in 2020 despite curbs. So we know that after this COVID, means it is still on, during this COVID, government of India has imposed ban on number of Chinese-made apps, Chinese-made products. Now, what China is doing? China has actually, increased the duty rates of many of the products which we are actually using in India. So because of the China increasing the duty rates on those products, the prices of those products you can see, you might have experienced that, has gone up multiple times in our economy. And then what they have done, for many of the essential items, China has increased the gestation period. in case it was supplying a product to us, to India within 7 days. Now it has increased the delivery time to 6 months. So in case we are putting a ban, China is also making use of the tools in it is having in its hand. So it is not that easy to overtake China, because they have penetrated to such a large extent in our economy. So now I'll talk about the 6 pillars. 6 pillars which our Honorable Prime Minister has listed down, which can help in making India Atmanirbhar. The first one is the economy, which he has listed it out. He wanted that we need to have an economy that does not bring only the incremental change, but makes the quantum jump. So this is what he wanted the economy to do, to make India Atmanirbhar. But when we look onto the data, we see that Indian economy is having lot and lots of problem within itself. So quantum jump will come only in that scenario wherein we are already 100% efficient. From there, we can think of having a quantum jump. In the morning, Professor Manjit Singh ji was talking about the demographic dividend, which actually is turning out to be demographic disaster. But before I come down onto that, let us have a look at the size of the Indian economy. Okay, size measured in terms of the gross domestic product. The number 1 economy of the world, United States of America, their GDP is $20 trillion, more than $20 trillion. Followed by China, having a GDP of $14 trillion. We are at number 5th. India is at number 5th in the list of the largest economies of the world on the basis of GDP, and our GDP is $2.63 trillion, $2.65 trillion. So US is 30 times bigger than us. China is almost 6 times bigger than us. And we are talking about Atmanirbhar. I was telling that it's a dynamic thing. You cannot become Atmanirbhar in isolation, because other nations, they are developing at a rate faster than us. And in case we want to become Atmanirbhar, we'll have to develop at a rate higher than them. And they are already much, much ahead of us. So this is what I was talking about, demographic dividend. So right now, India is passing through a very, very important phase. A very, very favorable condition. 70% of our population is actually falling into the age group of productive population. Means the people who are dependent on the people who are actually earning the livelihood is less. So this is the right time. This is the most important resource we have. Japan, whatever it is today, it is because of their intellectual capital. Okay, so similarly, we are passing through this phase. We'll have to ensure that we are making the efficient, effective use of our manpower. I think this is the only thing which can take the country to higher levels, can help us in realizing our dream of making India Atmanirbhar. And this phase will continue up to 2055. So we have got a time. With respect to China, this phase will be getting over by 2031. Okay, so we have got some time. We need to ensure that the young people, the energy, the talented people, they are made, their energy is channelized into the right direction. And in case we lose on to this, as was rightly pointed out by Professor Manjit Singh ji in the morning, it is turning out to be a demographic disaster. In case that happens, so you can really imagine. Right now, we are falling into the group of countries wherein the per capita income is, as per the capita income classification, India falls into the low income group category of countries. And in case we are unable to utilize this resource, the manpower, the productive manpower after 2055 will be the worst economy in the world, with a huge population of somewhere around 170 crore people. So we need to be, our policy makers, our planners, our political leaders, our economists, our thinkers, whatever we have in the economy, they need to be very, very careful, because it is something which is not actually taken care of. I was just going through the newspaper, and one article I found, it appeared in Economic Times on 4th February 2019. What does it say? 50% of India's working age population is out of labor force. So we are talking about demographic dividend, and what the news is saying, 50% of our population is actually out of the labor force. Are we making use of this precious resource? So this news is telling. And then another news which appeared in Times of India on 17th December 2020, it says that 1 in 5 workers in India is skilled. And on the basis of the availability of skilled manpower, India is rated at 129th rank among 162 countries. To look at the state of affair, we are not making use of our demographic strength. Means they are not appropriately employed, they are unemployed, and the skill level is also very, very low. Then after that, how efficient we are. Because, when you think of making India Atmanirbhar, it means you need to produce, you need to provide the best quality product at the lowest price. And that comes through the efficiency. In case we look on to the efficiency rating of India, we were ranked in 2019 on 58th position. And in 2020, we fell down to 68th position. So efficiency, which was not good earlier, has actually got further deteriorated. So economy, means there are so many segments into this. One of the segment was shared by Professor Manjit Singh ji also in the morning. He was talking about the capital market. He was talking about the banking industry. So I'll also come down onto that, but later on. So you just see what is happening to the demographic dividend, the most important resource. This news I got from the Tribune, which is a very, very famous, newspaper in this part of the region. It talks about the young people going abroad for the studies. So as per this news, they have shared the data from January 19 to June 19. So therein they have stated that during this period of 6 months, 147,000 students, they have migrated for studies to places outside India. And out of this 147,000, 128,000, they are from India. And the wealth which they have taken along with them is 67,000 crore rupees, which is a huge amount. 67,000 rupees has gone out. It is not only the brain drain, it is also the drain of the financial resources. And the budget for the education sector, which we earmark on annual basis, in our country is somewhere around 99,000 crore rupees, including school and higher education. 99,000 crore rupees. And in 6 months, 67,000 crore rupees they have gone out. And in case we make it for 1 year, you can easily make it out that somewhere around 1 lakh crore rupees they are going out of India with the young people who are going out for studies abroad. And the budget of higher education is less than that. It is 99 crore rupees. So it is a very, very serious issue. And then another issue with the economy is lack of certainty in the economy, which is actually hampering the economy. Lack of certainty. The students who are studying, they are not sure, after getting their education completed, whether they'll be getting a job or not. There's a high degree of uncertainty in the economy about that. People who are into job, they are scared. They think that they can do better in a business, but they are not leaving the job and doing the business because they don't have any certainty whether they'll be successful or not. And in case they are not successful there, how will they earn their livelihood? There's no support. People who are into job, they will be getting retired. So since there's no pension, they are scared. They are afraid. After getting retired, where they will get their livelihood from, since there is no pension there. Somebody in the morning, I think, was also talking about it, that we should encourage the people to spend more and more. I think Professor G.S. Batra was talking about it. But in case the state of the economy is like that, how can we motivate the people to spend? Everybody is trying to save because nobody knows what is going to happen in the future. In case I fall ill, who will take care of me? Government is not there to take care of you. You will have to take care of yourself on your own. And where that money will come from, and that you save, from your earning. So that is a very, very important point which he shared, which can boost the economy. But for that you have to bring in certainty in the economy. And then quantum jump in the economy. How will that come? That will come only through the innovation. And innovations, they happen in the world wherein people, they have confidence in themselves and in the system as well. In themselves means they can do wonders. But I think somebody was sharing, Mr. Atrey was sharing, that our education system is such that, which is not actually promoting confidence amongst our students. So we need to do that. We need to bring in the certainty in the system. And how this certainty can be brought in, I feel that, social welfare schemes like unemployment allowance, like, pension, which is not there. Many of people are getting it, but many of us, they are also not getting it. So these social welfare schemes, they can bring in certainty in the economy. People say that, the developed countries, therein you have social welfare schemes. You need to become developed, and then you can have social welfare schemes. I feel it is other way around. Okay, you need to provide social welfare schemes, and then you can become developed. So this is what I feel. So this was about the economy. I think I'm taking more time. I'll be rushing through. I have already shared about this skill development parameter. We are spending somewhere around 93,000 crore rupees on education, including on the skill development, which is 3,000 crore rupees, which comes out to be 4.6% of the GDP, whereas the developed nations like China, Israel, USA, they are spending 6% of their GDP. And you see that their GDP is much higher than that of us. So in rupee terms, that makes a lot of difference. This budget need to be increased to 6%. Our human development index is 129. So means already through the data we have seen, we are lacking in skills, unemployment is there, confidence level in the economy is down. So these all things need to be taken care of in case we want that economy should give us a quantum jump. And then innovation. It is only through the innovation that quantum jump can come in. So I was just going through, the performance of the countries on the basis of the innovation which they are doing, and I could get ranking done, for the various countries, and it appeared in a newspaper, Mint. According to this newspaper, which had a news on 3rd of September 2020, ranking of India on innovation index, we are at 48th rank in the world. China is 14th rank, Japan 16th, Germany 9, and USA 3. Quantum jump will come in from here only through the innovation. And we are behind the countries like China, like US, like Germany, like Japan. We need to work on to this. And again, I'm saying that this innovation will come only when there's a confidence, among our youth. There's a support system for the youth from the government, and the certainty level of the economy improves. Then research and development, which is one of the main thing through which the innovation will come. How much we are spending? We are spending 94.06 billion US dollars on research and development, whereas countries like USA, they are spending somewhere around $600 billion. China is spending the same amount, $600 billion. So we are spending less than one-sixth of what they are spending. So quantum jump will not come unless until R&D is focused upon. And I'll just skip this part. So we need to focus on this, and more, fortunately, as I was telling in the beginning also, this research and development has been added as the 6th pillar which can help the country in achieving the objective of Atmanirbhar Bharat. In the recent budget announced by the finance minister, a separate special purpose vehicle, National Research Foundation, has been established with the corpus of 50,000 crore rupees, which will be spent on the R&D. Now, the second pillar, which our Honorable Prime Minister listed out for making India Atmanirbhar Bharat, was the infrastructure. Now, where do we rank onto this parameter, onto this pillar? We are ranked at 44th in the world among 167 countries. We are ranked at 44th position in the world. And how much we are spending? We are spending 5.6% of our GDP on the infrastructure development, whereas China is spending 8.3% of their GDP onto the infrastructure development. Their GDP is 14 trillion, our GDP is 2 trillion. So you can see the huge gap which China is spending on the development of their infrastructure, and which actually we are spending. and how lethargic, how inefficient our systems are. So far as this infrastructure development is concerned, I was going through the newspaper and I found one article. This article was talking about the story of establishment of second international airport in Mumbai. The plan for setting up this international airport in Mumbai started in the year 1991, and its foundation was laid in the year 2017. And the planning is that this international airport will be getting completed with one runway by 2023. So from 1991 to 2023, 32 years gone, we are not able to develop one international airport. And I was finding out the data during the period June 17 to June 2023 years, China built 900 airports. So this is the state of affair. So I'm just highlighting this with this thing in mind, that we need to be aware where actually we are standing. So this is something very, very important. A statement in the newspaper appeared, Economic Times, from one of the leading CEO of a company regarding the infrastructure of India. So what does he say? It is Vinod Sharma, MD of Daiki Electronics. What did he say? It cost rupees 4 per kg for a shipment of cable to arrive at Mumbai from a city 300 kilometers away from Shanghai. For the transportation of 1 kg of wire from a city which is 300 kilometers away from Shanghai to Mumbai port is 4 kg, 4 pieces per kg. But for the same wire, for its transportation from the port from Mumbai to Noida is 14 rupees per kg. In this world wherein everybody is highly competitive, you are competing with the rest of the world to make your product sell. In case such is the high cost of transportation, then how can you think of competing? So we need to work on to the infrastructure development in a big way. So this is the second pillar which our Honorable Prime Minister talked about. Then in the infrastructure, even financial world is a part, as Professor Manjit Singh was saying in the morning. Infrastructure, unless until you have a strong financial structure, you cannot think of having a developed economy. So financial structure is actually composed of two major parts. One is your banking industry, and the second one is your capital market. In case we look onto the top 100 banks, the only bank which comes in that list of top 100 is State Bank of India. It is ranked at 55th position. Whereas China has 4 banks in the top 10 banks of the country. So that is the difference. And so far as the capital market is concerned, we are not in the top 10 list. Okay, the major share is that of US, then comes Japan, then comes China. And during the COVID pandemic, our market rose, as was discussed in the morning also. We are at 7th rank as on today because of the jump in the Sensex. But is that the real upward movement, or is it something which is a temporary? So that is also a cause of concern. So we need to strengthen our financial infrastructure also. So this is the second pillar. Then comes the system. This is the third pillar, which are cleared and then establish your business. How efficient our systems are, we know that we can judge it through the ease of doing business parameter ranking. We are ranked at number 63rd in the world, but fortunately, we have made a lot of progress onto this parameter over the last 4 or 5 years. If I'm not wrong, in 2015, we were ranked at 144th. And in 2020, we are ranked at 63rd. But then again, a long way to go from here, because China 31, Japan 29, Germany 22, USA is at 6th rank, ease of doing business parameter. So this is telling to us about how efficient our systems are. And then one of the most disturbing part of the system is that India is ranked at 80th position in the corruption perception index. So countries have been ranked on the basis of the level of corruption prevalent in the countries also. So we are ranked at 80th position. How efficient our systems are, you can easily judge from the ease of doing business parameter ranking and from this level of corruption index. And then how these systems can be improved upon. Technology can help in. Somebody in the morning was talking about removing, I think it was a video going on here from Malaysia, Lincoln College, they shared it. There's a need to remove the middleman. Okay, and that is possible only through technology. So this age is actually an age of digitalization. You people sitting, young people sitting, you will agree with me onto this. We have missed Industry Revolution 1, Industry Revolution 2, Industry Revolution 3, and Industry Revolution 4, which is right now going on, is actually that of digitalization. And where do we rank onto this performance of this parameter? We are ranked at 44th position in the world. USA is at number 1, Japan 23rd, Germany 17, and China 22nd position. So we are at 44th. And in case this revolution is missed, so I don't see in near future we can think of making India Atmanirbhar. So we have to be very careful so far as digitalization is concerned. But the irony of this problem is that for this also we are dependent upon China, because everything we are importing from there. Recently, Government of India said that they will go in for one nation, one ration card scheme. One nation, one ration card. And for that you need to have POS machines. And they have placed an order worth 2,500 crore rupees for its import from China. So you see, for that also we are dependent. So we need to be aware about all these things to take our country to the next level. Then the fourth pillar, democracy. I'll not share much about this. I was just going through a news. It appeared in, it is stated PTI. Okay, as per PTI, they have quoted the position of democracy in India. It says that India falls to 53rd rank in Economist Intelligence Unit ranking. India has fallen to 53rd rank on democracy index from a rank of 27 in 2014. So this is the fourth pillar we are talking about. Herein also, our performance has gone down. From a rank of 27th in the year 2014, we have slipped to 53rd rank. Then the fifth one is the demand. This was the fifth pillar, demand. So with a population of 135 crore people, I think demand should not be a problem. We have got a huge domestic market. I feel whatever we will be producing will be getting consumed within our own country only. And we should not, there's no need to think of, tapping the markets in the foreign lands, because within the country itself, we have got a huge market. But let us see the status. 2/3 of the population in India is living below the poverty line. It's not below the poverty line, is earning less than $2. And 30% of people is having income of less than $1.2 per day. So this is the state of affair. Large chunk of our population is not able to buy, not able to meet, their even basic needs. 77.4% of India's wealth is in the hands of 10% of its population. So this is about the, state of affair, means where will the demand come in from? Okay, this growth has to be inclusive. These people who are earning less than $2 a day, less than $1.5 a day, they have to be included in the mainstream. Their income has to be increased. Only then this demand factor will start working. So this is the strategy what we can do to make India Atmanirbhar. Demographic dividend, will have to be careful about it. Skill and education, which can make our youth relevant for the present day requirement. Boost confidence of the people in the economy as well as in themselves. Digitalization, which is the fourth revolution going on, will have to not let this train go unattended of digitalization. Democracy will have to work on this. Then peace, we are one of the countries which is rated very low so far as the peace level is concerned within the country. So we have strikes, we have lockdowns, we have number of other things which actually cause disturbance in the economic development of the nation. So infrastructure will have to work on then systems will have to work upon. And with these words, thanks a lot to all of you, and my thanks to the organizers, particularly to Dr. Jaskiran Kaur, who has invited me here for this intellectual exercise. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Thanks a lot to all of you.
Thank you so much, sir, for creating awareness about the present situation. Next, we have Dr. Munish Jindal, founder and CEO, Hover Robotics, founding president, MentorX. He has studied business management at UTS, Sydney, and has a work experience in international corporate world. Business development is Dr. Jindal's forte. He is hands-on executive known for strategic and focused approach with extensive accolades for limiting risk, creating lean teams, and establishing creative strategies for optimizing internal operations, financial returns, and external customer service and output. Please, sir.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you for the wonderful introduction, and kudos to CGC for making this happen. This is the need of the hour, and organizing this wonderful conference. Kudos, Dr. Jaskiran Kaur. Thank you for inviting me, the Ecology of New Economy, post-COVID-19. Wow, next 15 minutes are going to be the most interesting 15 minutes of your life. As we all know what we're going through, but what we need is the hope, the wonderful hope that everything is going to be wonderful. And if you go back in time, 100 years, 200 years, 500 years, whatever human mankind has ever faced, we have come out beautifully, rather we have progressed. And that is what I would reiterate, that a wonderful world is waiting for all of us. More jobs are going to happen, more opportunities are going to come. Once, for an example, this institute opens, who's going to fill these chairs? Students. When more students are going to be here, more people are required, more teachers, more lecturers, more professors are required to teach them. So more and more opportunities are waiting for us in the world, and a very wonderful world is waiting for us. So be hopeful for that. And all we need to do is stand tall and strong. When we talk in terms of India, we say, wow, what is happening in the world outside? Governments are supporting. What is Indian government doing? But I will say what Indian people are doing. Imagine how beautifully we are standing for each other, and how beautifully we are making use of technology. If we don't have the infrastructure, all we're doing is using Facebook stories to share the numbers, to share the medicines, to share where oxygen tanks are available, whatever. This is we Indians. We know how to make use of things. And Indian diaspora is standing so tall with each other that if someone needs help, second one is they're saying that, hey, I'm there for you. Or, hey, someone else can help you, reach out to this number. So this is beauty of our Indian system, our Indian people. And today I've been asked to talk more about this, what you call big data. Big data. What is big data? Big data is when data is everywhere. Our data is collected all the around the clock. I don't know how many of you are aware. Even if you're browsing, your eyeballs are being monitored. Your keystrokes are being monitored, what exactly you're typing. Even before you make a decision, the systems know what you are going to do. Have anyone noticed ever that if you go on a website, you browse for a product, what happens? You close it. Suddenly, all the websites start showing you the advertisement of that product. The systems, cause of big data, has gone so advanced that now, even if before you make up your mind, before you make your decision, systems know what you're going to do. Amazon has already started doing this pilot run in USA. Now how we shop, we go browse a particular product, park it in the cart, then choose the payment method, then it gets delivered to us. Now what is happening in USA under this pilot project, you browse particular products, through the predictive analysis using big data, they deliver that product on your rooftop through the drones. You go to your rooftop, pick up the product. If you like it, the money is going to get deducted from your bank account. If you don't like it, put it back on the rooftop, they're going to pick it back. So in the future, it's going to be you are browsing, You don't even know whether you want it or you're going to shop it. It's coming to your home. That is how future is changing. That is how technology is changing our lives. And that is how more opportunities are going to happen. And another thing I would like to let you know is when we talk about technology, when we talk about big data, when we talk about IoT or artificial intelligence or robotics, each one has a basic notion that it's going to eat up our jobs. It's going to replace humans, or it's big data, it's robotics versus humans. No, it's technology with humans. It's big data, it's robotics working hand in hand with humans. As of now, when I'm speaking with you, despite the pandemic, 52 million opportunities are waiting just in the domain of big data and AI. 52 million opportunities. So when we talk all about it, what is big data? What is? When we all hear this term, big data, data analytics, data scientists. People say that our new course is mushrooming up. Maybe colleges are offering this new course, but this is the most important part. I'm going to show you something interesting. We all like to eat, most of us like to eat pizza, right? We order a pizza. What happens? Hi, is this Pizza Delight? We are calling up the Pizza Hut or maybe Pizza Domino's or a Pizza Delight. Google. No, sir, it's Google Pizza. What? Sorry? Google Pizza? I think I have dialed the wrong number. No, sir. Google bought the Pizza Delight last month. Oh, wow. Wonderful news. So, okay, I would like to order a pizza. Okay, do you want your usual, sir? Usual? Hello? Hang on. Do you know me? Oh, my usual. How? Oh, according to our caller ID data sheet, last 12 times, you ordered extra large pizza with 3 cheese, capsicum, mushrooms, onion, baby corn, or whatever your favorite is. Wow, so, you know, they have your data. So, okay, that's what I want. Wow, I'm so happy you have all my details. This is what I want. But now the Google Pizza, may I suggest that this time you order a pizza with ricotta, arugula, sun-dried tomatoes, olives on whole wheat, gluten-free thin crust. What? No, I don't like it. I don't want that, man. What's wrong with you? Oh, sir, but you know, your cholesterol is not good. Hang on. How do you know about my cholesterol? Well, we cross-reference your home phone number with your medical records. We have the result of your blood test for last 7 years. Imagine where the data is reaching. Your phone number, your medical records, your blood test, 7 years. Wow, but whatever. I don't want that rotten vegetable pizza. I am already taking medicines for cholesterol. Excuse me, sir. But you haven't taken any medication regularly. According to our database, you purchased only box of 30 cholesterol tablets once at chemist and drugstore 4 months ago. 30 tablets 4 months ago. So I bought it from another drugstore. How do you know? You are not chasing me all the time. No, but it doesn't show us on your credit card statement. Oh, now I'm flabbergasted. I'm surprised, I'm shocked, I'm in utter confusion. I paid in cash. Does that bother you? So, but you didn't withdraw enough cash according to your bank statement. I have other sources of cash. But your tax return doesn't show those other sources. Are you sure you have those other sources which are not on your tax return now? Now, how do you know about my tax return? What the hell is going on? I'm sorry, sir. We use such information just with the sole intention of helping you. Wow, what a wonderful help you're doing to me. Enough already. I'm sick of this Google. I'm sick of this Facebook, sick of this Twitter, sick of this Amazon. I'm going on an island where there is no internet, no cable TV, no cell phone, so that no one can watch me, no one can spy me, and I can live my life peacefully. Wow, at last I'm trying to go on a holiday. I understand, sir, but you need to renew your passport. It expired 6 weeks ago. So now you know what I'm talking about, where this big data is gearing towards. This we don't take a note on every day, punch phone, WhatsApp, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Even if we fly somewhere, our boarding passes are going there, or pictures of our passports are going there. But we need to take care what we are posting online. So what exactly this data science is? You know, this is the most reigning technology that has conquered industries in and around the world. And we are amid this fourth industrial revolution. each one of you know, first one when the steam engine came, mass production started, electricity came in, second revolution came in, then the IT happened, third revolution, we are in fourth revolution, Internet of Things, big data, artificial intelligence, robotics, biotechnology, nanotechnology, augmented reality, virtual reality, crypto, blockchain, cybersecurity, robotronics, mechatronics. Wow. Half of the terms might sound alien, half of them might be sounding to related to Hollywood movies, but this is actually we are living into. We are living into this world, and now there is a technology has come in already. I don't know how many of you have gone through HoloLens. You can be teleported in any part of the world. Right now you're sitting here. If you're required in US, you're required in UK, or in any part of India, you can be, your holographic clone can be projected there. And even if we are capable of speaking maybe English, Hindi, or our regional language, Punjabi, our clone can speak any language, Japanese, Spanish. That is again through data. So this is about the big Industrial Revolution 4. I was talking about Internet of Things, cloud servers, cloud computing, cybersecurity, robotics, AI. Wow, and we are entering the brave new world of mind, matter, and computing intelligence. Yes. But always remember, again, looking at this slide, or maybe listening to me, people might think, oh, technology is going to take over us. But always remember, we are the ones who are creating this technology, who are making this big data. So big data has 6 V's. Volume, how much data is being generated. Velocity, how quickly it's being generated. Variety, data also has its shapes, sizes. How much, what kind of data is generating. Veracity, what kind of sources we are getting this data from. What is the reliability. Value, what is the economic value of this data. And variability, how relevant this data is, or how quickly it's changing its meaning. I might be sharing the numbers of maybe the pandemic, or in the stock exchange, how quickly the numbers, the share prices changes. You might be quoting a data, and immediately next second you're seeing, oh, that has entirely changed. So big data in the times of big viruses, how post-pandemic, what we need to do. All we need to do is accelerate our lifestyles, our economies, our world towards the next normal, the new normal, the digital normal, the hybrid normal. That is how we are going to have the paradigm shift in our lives. You know, they say we need to learn. Yes, we need to learn. We need to learn, we need to learn, we need to continuously learn. But this pandemic has taught us we need to unlearn to learn. We have to forego few things. We have to learn few new things. I can quote you a very quick example. I have a nephew of 7 years. As soon as he steps out, he wears a mask. He's a kid. He maybe has adopted it as his lifestyle. Even still now, if I go, I forget my mask, because I haven't still learned it, that this is the new norm. If we are going out, we have to wear the mask. And it will continue for another year or two. Don't be disheartened. Just accept it as a new norm. Wear your masks. Be safe. And we are ushering towards new economy, a wonderful economy, wonderful word. My co-pan, I'm blessed today that I am among such learned, such wonderful co-panelists. I am still, still budding in my life, they mentioned so many beautiful, wonderful things today, and this world is indeed shifting towards new gears. And when we talk about disposable income, yes, the new generation, the upcoming generation, they are going to gear towards the disposable income is going to be much more higher, because people are going to shift away little bit from the savings, because the pandemic they have faced. Now they want to spend more money, they want to enjoy life, they want to save less. So yes, that is also going to be the another boom. And there is a data that is online. I'm not sharing any statistical numbers with all of you. The reason being that data is easily available on Google and anyone can check it out. So I'm just quickly skipping it up. So what data science with artificial intelligence is working hand in hand in decoding future. If I say, yes, we can predict the future, we can force into the future, or future is already here. Big data is already helping us today in the medicine. Here are the few of the, I don't know, waiting for this video to play up. If it doesn't play up, this was the video for the few of the X-rays. They were running on, big data algorithm, whereby 6 top radiologists from the world were connected together, and the same X-rays were shown to a big data system. Imagine who was more reliable, the big data system. It provided more accuracy over humans. So in the future, our lives are going to be better because of these technologies we are using. And big data is also facilitating human-robot collaborations. The best example is you can check out Amazon warehouse, whereby human beings are working hand in hand together with the robots, and they're so happy. You know why? Because earlier they had to lift the weights by themselves in the warehouse. Now they're comfortably sitting in their chairs, pressing the buttons on the touch screen, and those robots are working for them. Those robots are capable of lifting 320 kgs of weight, and they are capable of remembering 10 million items. Accurate locations, machine vision, working on the big data concepts and principles. So this is bringing in more collaboration between humans and robots. And big data, they are helping us building multifunctional robots. As you can see, this robot has close to 8 different arms. We humans have 2 arms. We can only work with them. Certain times we feel, right, that why don't I have extra 2 arms? Certain times we're lifting something and we have to do something else as well. So there are the robots that are capable of having 8, 10, 16 arms and simultaneously can perform multiple tasks. And in the recent times, during the pandemic, big data helped and the artificial intelligence helped us creating such kind of robots who replaced human beings in the hospitals. Due to the pandemic, it wasn't safe to go closer to these patients. So the robots were created and that could communicate with the patient, that could deliver them timely doses. I don't know how many of you have seen Mitra, the first Indian robot that was unveiled at Hyderabad International Convention by Prime Minister itself, and that is based on our hoverboards. We brought e-mobility to India. I will talk about that as well. Here on screen, you are seeing robotic pills. These are the ordinary capsules or pills that we take when we fall sick. How about if I tell you that a robotic pill is coming up based on the big data medicine? We won't fall sick in the future. I don't know, my videos are not playing up. They should have. So these robotic pills are capable of going inside our body. They can stay there for a day, for a week, for a month, for a year, and can deliver timely doses. We will never fall sick again. Our mortality rates are going to increase. Rather, when we now fall sick, we have curative measures. In future, it's going to be preventive measures. So world is definitely gearing towards wonderful, wonderful bliss. So be happy towards that. And this is my favorite domain. This is e-mobility. This is what we are doing. We brought e-mobility to India, Autobots, mobility robots, whereby you can commute from one place to another. It's electrically chargeable, so we are taking away the pollution, taking away petrol, diesel, and bringing smarter solutions. And the best part about this is that during COVID, it is being used for emergency medicine supplies. And post-COVID, we have plans this can be used by students in the larger campuses. It has already been used in your campus. We did, in 2019, we did a fashion show on this. Yes. So, this has so many utilizations that you can commute from point A to B without incurring any cost. They are electrically chargeable. You don't incur any service maintenance cost, and you don't create any pollution. So we are offering holistic, sustainable environment to the upcoming generations. So this was the robo-dog I wanted to showcase, and that is enforcing social distancing, another example of big data and AI. And this is the future of data sciences, that it can prevent infectious diseases, it can make our lives better, it can lead to wonderful technological advancement. So all you need to do is keep on innovating, keep on producing, keep on creating, keep on disrupting the existing markets. Don't ever think that even if you're moving with a slow speed, forward is forward. Always remember, if you're moving forward, your speed doesn't matter. I launched my startup in 2015 with 35,000 rupees. Why I'm mentioning the amount is, I come across so many of the youth, and they say, sir, we have an idea. We want to launch our startup, we don't have the funding. I ask them, do you trust your idea? They say, yes, we trust our idea. I say, can you have 50,000 rupees? They say, yes. Then start small, make it big. I started in 2015 with 35,000 rupees, made few prototypes. People weren't aware of it. I used to stand on the roadsides, ask them, take free rides, use it, free for you, experience it. Click pictures, make videos, made it viral. From there on, today it's a multi-million-dollar startup, self-funded. We are #1 in India and featured among top 5 in the world. And taking inspiration from there, I launched another edtech startup, MentorX. I'm the founding president of that, to educate, to empower, to elevate. And currently, we are operational in 65 countries. Before pandemic, we were in 20 countries. Pandemic, I only see opportunities. So we continually expanded in other parts of the globe. And as of now, I'm speaking, we are in 65 countries. Whether pandemic is for another 6 months or a year, I assure you by 2022, we are going to be in 200 countries. So keep thinking positive, keep thinking big, and opportunities are there for you. Keep looking for them. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, I would like to hand over the dais to Director Management, Dr. Jaskiran Kaur, to present the vote of thanks.
Thank you so much, Manjit. The day started at 10:30, waiting for all the guests to come, and coming, looking at the rain, looking at the thunderstorm. And since yesterday, I'll say it was a roller coaster ride because things have been moving here and there. I think my team better knows how we have started. But when it comes to an end, and it is a very pleasant end, I always want that kind of a beginning should always be there. I'm very happy that, conferences are always made to know in-depth knowledge from one point of view, from another point of view, and from number of point of views. That is how we do justice. Today we had 8 speakers with us. Everyone has given their own style of thought they have shared with us. They have shared their own research with us. As I said in the morning, when researchers, students, and academicians or industrialists, when they sit together, they will come out with something great. And I think by the end of the session, it is a very positive vibe. Everybody has given. I was just sharing that till now my WhatsApp has actually boomed with congratulations messages. Not only from India, Brazil, Dr. Eldo is still connected with us, and from Australia, from US, and from Malaysia. It's like our home country now since last few days. Everybody has contributed and everybody has given their unbiased viewpoints with well-researched point, which is very good and which is a learning point. And that is what we actually look forward for, that what exactly is going to be a takeaway. We have so many takeaways from every speaker. Since started with Batra sir, Manjit sir, Ravinder sir, Ritu ma'am, Munish, and international speakers, Dr. Eldo, everybody has tried to contribute it so good. And we had already 3 international panelists with us, but because of lack of time, we have shifted them to a valedictory session. So they'll be present there now. And with all these things, due to this COVID-like situation, I really want all of you, those who are present here, give a standing ovation to my panelists, that they all made an effort to come here and appear. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, everyone, to be here. And from bottom of my heart and from complete CGC Janjeri family, I really, wanted that we'll keep meeting now, maybe on digitally, but soon we'll frequently start meeting, physically also in the campus when things go normal. The things will go normal very soon, but total normal will still take a very long way. But we being an academician, we have to be always very positive and very optimistic so that we bring things soon to very close to the normal. On this note, I instruct all my faculty members to start with their tracks so that they can start, because we have put it on hold till the time inauguration session does not finish. They can start with their tracks now. And tomorrow at 2 p.m. we'll again meet at the same place for valedictory session. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Yes. मैं आपको मॉर्निंग वाली शेयर कर दूंगी, अब तो हमारा छोटा हो गया है।